What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not. Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit her with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still to the songs with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof of my life at a boat in. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded him. What is a star? Like another city, the driver's side fly. Gucci get large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, cute as could be. You can watch on YouTube with me and some friends. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time, wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
That Bradley Beal sucks. No wonder they want to get rid of him.
No trade clause.
Wow, they hate him. You ever search up in the midst of this frog boy Bradley Beal on Twitter and just see what people are saying about him? Those Suns fans hate him.
No, I haven't even checked.
They're bullying him.
Now, is Leroy? Let's see, was Leroy in studio yesterday?
He definitely is muted right now. Here, let's
right.
call him. This is our favorite bit.
Great.
It's our favorite bit. Let's do this.
This is good.
Hold on. Ready? Let's see.
He is locked in. He is just reading. He must be
reading something. He doesn't realize what time it is. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on.
Hopefully, he doesn't curse. Fingers crossed.
Hold on.
Fingers crossed.
Now he realizes. He's like, I gotta mute.
I'm just sitting there.
Defenses couldn't stop him, but unmuting your tab could.
It's your fault.
Hello, Leroy.
You make me mute my tab all the time.
It's not my fault. You forgot your password like 900 times, or you're getting into password disputes. I don't know what's going on here. So we were just saying, I said that Bradley Beal sucks, huh?
What did he do?
Oh, just every game's like a 3 for 8. I think he also got hurt last night too. On top of it.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's that. Forget the Bradley Beal, the player.
Yeah.
Remember the Bradley Beal availability.
Bradley Beal just turned his ankle last night. He goes, "I'm sick.
Bubble guts.
I can't. I need 2 weeks. Well, when's the trade deadline? I'll be back on February 7th. What do you mean, Bradley? He's not feeling so good.
You know, I hold all the cards.
I hold the cards, and I'm not. My cards are telling me I don't feel so good. They're like, no. Like he turns that ankle last night, and they're like, you better get out there. It's like I think I should probably sit out the rest of this game.
We're lashing out because we got 2 days before we got to deal with our own issues.
I'm not lashing out. I'm not lashing out at all. Honestly, let's get the headlines. Brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. We'll talk to David Dwork today. We'll talk a little Cats with David Dwork. Having updated. The Cats did win last night via shootout over the New Jersey Devils. Anton Lindell. Yes.
Spencer, was it Spencer Knight? Wasn't bad.
He looked great. Looked great. Big saves from the young buck. 26 of them. Anton Lindell had the winner in the shootout. So the Cats get 2 points, and nice win by them. They at least were able to pick up both there. The shootout always makes me nervous.
I watched 12 seconds of the Canes and Duke.
Oof.
And I'm like, this Cooper Flag. Yikes. Oof. He can go.
Final score, 89-54 Duke.
Woo! 24 wasn't enough.
Whew. Canes were outscored 50-26 in the first half.
I'm just thinking, have we ever thought of 2 Power 5 conferences teams playing each other, no matter how bad they've been, and one been a 24-point favorite.
In that history, in the Canes history,
just in general. If I take any two SEC schools and play them against each other, any two Big Ten teams play them against each other, right? Can you think of any point spread? I can't.
I would. Are you talking in hoops?
In hoops, yeah.
Oh, in hoops. I was going to say in football for sure.
No. Yeah, football's.
I gotta imagine there's been years Duke's been way heavier favorites than I don't know. Name an ACC team. Virginia before Virginia before Virginia was decent.
No, dude, I'm telling you, not 24 points. That's crazy.
You can't just say something like that. Like,
yes,
I'm sure there has been. I'm sure there has been.
You've been around sports enough to say that sounds like rare.
I mean, they're very good this year. They've only lost twice.
Yeah, I'm not saying Duke isn't very good. I'm saying Miami is that bad.
Oh, Miami's terrible.
Right.
That's one of the things that was like Coach L's calling card too. Like, I think he had more wins against Duke in his time in the ACC than any other coach.
He's sitting somewhere going, doesn't count against my record.
He goes, that's a shame. Oh, well. Yeah, the Canes got absolutely stomped on yesterday. That was something. And the Jimmy Butler saga, the Heat, they're back on the hardwood tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. Bam Adebayo is listed as questionable with his lower back contusion. Does not miss. He missed his first game of the season against the Clippers. We'll see if he's able to go tonight against the Lakers. At least he didn't have to fly anywhere, I imagine. So that's probably good for the back. The big news yesterday with Jimmy Butler, Leroy, after we had Anthony Chiang of the Miami Herald on, who confirmed that, the whole Pat Riley thing went down. According to Ira Winderman, he was the first I saw to report this, but then others followed, that Jimmy Butler has a meeting with Micky Arison coming up, I guess tomorrow, I'd imagine. It says it's supposed to be after the road trip ends. He's expected to meet with him ahead of his scheduled return against the Nuggets. And I got to tell you, dude, when I read that kind of tipped me too. I don't think they're going to bring him back. I know it says in Ira's column that the Miami Heat are usually and very much against the idea of paying him to just be away. And supposedly Heat brass is supposed to meet as well tomorrow to decide, hey, can we get a deal done? Can we finish? I'm telling you, dude, when I saw that he's meeting with Micky Arison, my first reaction was, it's over. They're not bringing him back.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't. I can't disagree, because what is Mickey going to save?
Right.
You see what I mean?
Plus, I go back to the immediate, I feel like it feels like Mickey's kind of like, the last line of defense. But the last time I remember Mickey meeting with somebody, Dwayne Wade was a Chicago Bull the next day.
Right.
So it felt very much like a goodbye.
Do you think it's going to be the same, like, next day kind of turnaround? Or
I mean, it literally has to be the next day. Like,
I just
don't think they're going to let him play in a Heat uniform anymore.
Right. But my other thing is that he says he doesn't want to be here, but Knicks is he said anywhere but here.
Yeah.
He said those words, but then comes out 2 days later and says, I only want to trade to Phoenix.
Right.
So, like, what do you want? Like, it's like you have literally made it impossible to accomplish anything you want with the things that you've said over the past month.
Agreed. So, yeah, I see that meeting with Micky Arison.
Trade him to the Utes.
To the Utes. He doesn't have a no trade clause. They could trade him anywhere they want.
Right.
I just don't know who would want him.
Right. And who's to say? And here's the problem. The one thing that I'll say about Dame, right? He maybe wasn't down with where they traded him, but when he got there, he played basketball. And that was never a question.
Right.
whenever it becomes a question of whether you're going to play or not, remember they said that about Kawhi,
Mhm.
and they went on to win a championship
Right.
because he wasn't, wasn't thinking Toronto, right? And he didn't really put a whole bunch of demands on it. But like, you have to figure out what you want.
There was
do you
also
want to
something.
play for a certain team, or do you really want to be out of Miami?
There was also something like I forget the wording that Anthony had exactly yesterday in his column about this, but it had like the word oblige in there as in regards to Jimmy Butler playing, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like oblige.
That sounds way too nice for what's coming.
Like
Right,
what?
right.
I was just like, huh?
So like
Yeah, this is what he said. Anthony writes, if Butler is asked to rejoin the team and be in uniform at the end of suspension, the expectation is that Butler will oblige and be available to play in order not to lose more of his salary. So it's like, I'll be there, but you know why he's there. He's just there not to get docked, which I don't know. I just kind of read that and I'm like,
that means you're getting minimal effort.
Minimal effort, dude. Which of course he'll be insulted if you ask, did you give top effort? How dare you question that? You're finding my joy. Take a break. More to come here. Heat matchup tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll get into it. Kel'el Ware, can he build off of what he did last time? Nikola Jovic, can he bounce back? Tall time! Back after this. 15 minutes of heat here for you on 560 WQAM. Miami Heat back on the hardwood tonight, you rascals. 10
Last
o'clock.
game.
Your 10 o'clock tip-off from Crypto.com Arena. Lakers, 4.5-point favorites tonight as the Heat get ready for them. Same as on the record, pretty much. Lakers
I would love to see if Kel'el can keep his feet in front of AD.
Yeah, there is AD is dealing with a foot thing, but he says that he's probable. LeBron has a foot, but he's probable. Dorian Finney-Smith is doubtful for a personal reason. And Bronny James is questionable with an illness. So those are your injuries tonight for the Lakers. The Heat, just the big thing to monitor is Bam Adebayo and his status for tonight. So the Heat and 15 minutes of Heat is brought to you by Hollywood Kia. The big game is here. Tackle game-winning deals during the handoff drive-off event at Hollywood Kia. Get $1,000 lease bonus cash towards your new Kia. Plus, we'll double your down payment up to $3,000. Visit them online, hollywoodkia.com, or call 832-930-6181. Kel'el Ware, of course, coming off a big fourth quarter in a game that kind of got away from the Heat against the LA Clippers. But Tyler Herro with some praise for the giant Kryptonian.
I mean, he's one of my favorite players in the NBA. So, I mean, just watching him grow, really excited for it. You know, he's a guy that just keeps taking steps forward. He loves to learn, loves to pick up on different things, and I'm excited to watch him grow.
Very tall. Oh, wingspan. And you see, I love the he's got the quote that he gave to Jax was my favorite, where he says, just throw it up there, ain't gonna be no turnover. I love that. And then Tyler Herro had said on the road trip that Kel'el Ware goes to him before every game, and he puts it in order like he's at the drive-thru. Like, let me get 4 lobs. Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. I love that.
Is that what that's for? They can ring it in on there. Okay.
No, it's like, boop. What do you want to say?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Boop. Let me get 4 lobs.
That's not how it works, by the way.
Boop.
There's a button on their hip.
No. Boop. I see the buttons right there. Boop.
No, it's not.
Boop.
Oh my goodness.
You're talking about the coaches. I'm talking about fast food.
They still have to hit. Oh my goodness. What you would be talking about fast food.
We're still hungry.
Here's Erik Spoelstra on Ware's performance thus far this season.
You know, he's making some improvements. You know, the 13 rebounds, you know, for sure. I think he could have had a couple more. Change some shots under the rim. You know, we still want him to elevate, and there's probably 3 or 4 more that he could have gotten to. Then deflections and interior, you know, pass defense. But he's making progress. And it seems to be, you know, every day that he's learning something new.
How about learning during the game?
He is learning during the game.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Same.
That was very passive aggressive.
I don't like, you know, I don't really know what you're saying.
I'm just saying. The 13 rebounds, that's improvement. Probably could have had a couple of more. I'm like, I mean, the last game there was a game he had 0. So I would say 13 is a substantial increase.
It was an increase.
Right.
It was an increase.
So you still say he could have got more?
Vanessa P. Petty says, Tobin has really matured. The LeBron slander is at a minimum. I've grown.
Yeah, I do see that.
I've grown.
You know why? No, that's not why.
Mm.
That's not why. Y'all missing it. Okay. Tobin is really shook by this Jimmy situation. And so he's not, you know, he can't really concentrate on the things that he would normally concentrate on, because in the back of his mind, he's still wondering what the hell's going to happen with Jimmy.
I know what's going to happen with Jimmy.
What's going to happen?
He's not playing on Friday night.
He gonna have to recondition.
He's not going to play on Friday night. This is going to be playing. He's either going to be brewing some coffee at Big Face or he's going to be playing dominoes somewhere after Micky Arison tells him to take a hike.
So
We'll let you know when you're traded to Phoenix.
So question. How does that help anybody? This is my whole point. If
doesn't it help, it helps the locker room, doesn't it? Like you don't have to worry about it.
No. Of the parties involved, right? We're not including the kids here. Of the two parties involved in the Heat organization and Jimmy, how has any of this helped anything that anybody wants to accomplish?
It has not.
Right. So
any of this has not.
But
now that you've gone,
we're here, we're making. In order for somebody to trade for Jimmy, they would have to make the same assumptions that you're making, that you have made over the last couple of years.
Except if you're
in January, he's gonna turn it up.
Yeah, but Phoenix is in a desperate spot, dude. Like they have Kevin Durant who could walk on them next year. They have a Bradley Beal contract that's awful, so they're just going to give the Bradley Beal money to Jimmy Butler because it's a better fit.
No, I got you. But we're making one assumption. We're making a huge assumption here. We are assuming that Jimmy's going to be Jimmy wherever he goes.
Oh, 100%. Look, that's been part of my part of the reason I think that he has turned it down and turned the Jets down is because he got hurt twice this season and was like, not doing it anymore. I'm not. Like, I don't mean to throw accusations out there. I'm just reading the room of what I've seen.
Right.
Like I was,
everything started with the ankle twist.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the second one of the season. He did it in both ankles. And he's like, am I really going to go through a grind of an NBA season for a team that isn't going to extend me? I want to get extended. And, I don't think that he was going to throw it out there like that. Like small things become big things.
So I'll ask you this.
Because otherwise, like, what else would have changed? Everything else, all the stuff that we know, pissed off at Riley. I'm not saying he shouldn't be pissed off at Riley. All the things that he could be upset about with the roster construction, I think they're fair criticisms. But all the things that were issues aren't new issues. So my biggest thing, and I keep coming back to this, what made it go nuclear? What made it go to the point?
That's the only moment we had.
The only thing I can point to is like, you know what? These guys aren't going to pay me. I'm not going to screw up the next team that's going to pay me.
So
it's not a great, like, I get everybody say, you guys are right. Has he quit on the team? Absolutely. I'm not defending Jimmy Butler. I'm trying to explain what the hell has happened. And I don't, because this is a level of murkiness over this whole thing that nobody has come to give me any decent explanation. All I keep getting now are petty grenades from the Heat to Jimmy to the Heat. And they're all, well, this is what I don't like about you, and this is what I don't like about you.
Right.
And that's all fine. Everybody's got their points. Everybody, you guys know where I stood. I was stand on pay Jimmy Butler. What I've been fascinated by in this whole thing that nobody is giving me anything clear on is when Jimmy Butler got hurt against the Thunder after having one of his best regular season games with the Heat, after he's complaining about usage, and then all of a sudden he's sick, and then he's reconditioning, then is playing dominoes with his agent in the Heat locker room on a night where the Heat are taking on the Rockets, where they probably were looking to piss off the Heat because they thought the Heat were going to get waxed by Houston, which they did not. And then Tyler Herro gets thrown into the hardwood, and then he comes back to practice the next day and is like, yep, good to go. Going to give it everything I got. And then doesn't give it everything he got. What the hell changed?
Right.
That's what I want to know. What changed in his mentality or what changed behind the scenes? Because according to reports yesterday from Chris Haynes, who's very plugged in, remember when I got the stink eye from Jimmy?
Right.
And I asked him, I said, hey, have you had conversations with Pat Riley? According to Chris Haynes, they had not had conversations at that point as a face-to-face, that they had not talked it out until the next day. Which you're welcome. I got them in a room together.
So my question is this.
Don't look at me like that, Frog.
You know what you did,
I didn't
dude.
do it. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again.
Because you admit you did it.
So here's the question I have. If you're another team and you think Jimmy could help, Why? Based on what you've seen the last 2 years.
I think what they're probably just being
Is hoping.
He's an ass.
There's a lot of like
there's a hope to it.
$60 million for hope.
But
right?
if you're paying $60 million right now
To the same guy,
they're
it
paying
only
$60
makes
million
sense.
to it. Yeah, it makes sense
Right.
for them because they're paying $60 million to a guy with no hope.
They're paying $60 million regardless. You might as well get somebody who can play. My question is, based on Jimmy's last couple of years and how he has really broken down getting into January, February, March, and into the playoffs, even if he wanted out, what team, if money wasn't an issue, would sign up for that and hope that you turn it around without having anything even close to an idea of what Jimmy's going to look like if you bring him in and
everybody's bringing him in with the hope that
Right.
now I'm in a more amicable situation.
We're assuming that you know, I don't know, man. I'm just in a spot right now where I get Jimmy wants a trade, but he's done nothing that would garner people knocking down the door to get Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but nothing's going to change now either way. All right, we're at the point.
Right.
That's why I'm saying when you're meeting with the owner, I just feel like that's all right, here's what we're going to do.
It's been nice.
Because nothing's going to change. Like nothing
Right.
is going to change. And you can't take word for it, and I don't really think you can put the coach or the players through it anymore. And
It's a bad spot, but I'm always gonna believe this. I don't care how much you feel like the organization didn't take care of you. What does that have to do with what they're paying you now?
I 100% agree with you, Leroy.
Right.
And I think they were all
and the fact
like,
it's a sting. It stings. Like, I'm all about athletes getting as much money as they can.
Mhm.
Okay. But we're talking about 2 years from now and not getting paid 2 years from now to the point where you're sabotaging what you're doing now on the court. That seems a little extreme to me.
right. And that's one of those things. And look, before, if I'm saying that he's sick or you're saying that was an ankle twist, let's just say it was either. To that point, he had missed a third of the season.
Right.
4 suspensions.
Right. So
like Pat
you
Riley
think it got to the point where he just realized, I'm not going to play more games. So
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I think happened. Schmieden
Right.
says, when is Tobin's meeting with Mickey? Because this is all his fault.
Your fault, dude.
I'm so mad at all of you. And you guys
Oh,
are
wait,
not.
wait.
I
Hold on,
really hope that this community would rally around me.
Hold
and
on.
all they want to do is yell at somebody. And the only person who's talking 4 hours a day is me. So you guys have been yelling at me nonstop.
You sped this up.
Let's backtrack.
That
a
I
little.
can't deny.
Let's. Here's what I would like to say. The reason why we're on you is that it seems that the two comments from both parties all came on questions that you asked that got things going.
Okay.
So understand, if everybody's looking at you as the fire starter, all we have is your question to Pat, your question to Jimmy, their two answers, and then everybody run into the other party and say, look what this guy said
So
about
in this case, I was just watching this documentary on Netflix about the Jerry Springer show. Essentially, what
Oh
you're
my
saying
goodness. Is that crazy?
It was crazy. But you're essentially
crazy.
saying I'm not at fault for the lunacy, but I am Jerry Springer who's letting them throw haymakers at each other, and I'm
Yes.
asking the questions. I'm giving them the
Yes.
platform. That's
Yep.
what you're saying?
Yep.
I'm Tobin. I'm Jerry Springer.
Yep. That's basically what you did. And now it's to the
Oh my
point
God.
now, if Jimmy walked on stage and Pat was on stage, they would confront each other.
I'm basically like if I was at a dinner party and this married couple invited me over and they were having problems, but I'd ask, so how much you guys doing in a week? and it was turned out to be 0,
Yeah.
and that just
Yeah.
sent them.
Bring it up, Tobin. Well, now that you mention it,
Wait, go back. Speetha said Tobin is Jerry Spring Roll.
I love spring rolls, man.
Oh,
for
hey, so let me get this straight. The only
Only
difference
form of
between
vegetable I like.
the only difference between a spring roll and an egg roll is no meat.
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm out.
but I can't even taste the vegetables, which is why I love spring rolls.
You could say you have vegetables.
I think I like I found out from that place, Leroy. I think I like everything in egg roll form. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, from the
Oh, man.
world
He's-
famous.
Anything in an egg roll is delicious.
Pretty good.
He's 100% right on that.
Yeah,
Karen says the heat.
They figured out a way to put a Philly cheese in an egg roll. It's delicious.
Karen says the heat are in more poop than that dollar store. Those dollar store bandits in Polk County.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Clean and Mr. Dookie. I've been wondering about
I'm
that.
telling you, the biggest upset there, that was like the 80. It was like the 80s hockey team, the 80 Olympics, when I realized that they were black.
I saw the disappointment come over your face.
I was like, what? I mean, that sounds like something Cletus and Bullfrog would do.
E. Sim says no jersey retirement for Jimmy. Give 22 to the next player we signed to a 10-day. Didn't the Oklahoma City Thunder do that with KD? Didn't they give 35 like to a nobody like the next year? They were really salty about that. 22 is going in the rafters, dude. Like, listen, it's all of that stuff.
That's years away. But for right now, we need to think about what's going to happen.
Whoa.
On Friday.
I will say though, the Miami Heat, I found out yesterday, did not ruin Tommy Tobin's love for the Miami Heat because he was watching a Disney show. They're all on streaming now. That Chris Bosh just randomly showed up on. And I was like, he goes, who is that? I'm like, that's Chris Bosh, dude. And he goes, does he have a statue? I'm like, a statue? Jersey's in the rafters. He goes, well, when did he play? So he played with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. They were the big three. So I went to this whole thing. We watched Game 6 yesterday.
Oh, did you love it?
Loved it, dude.
Oh, come on.
Loved it.
That's good.
Big shot Bosh.
That's good propaganda right there. That is pretty good.
I think that'll just be my thing. I think, instead of current Heat games, let's just watch old Heat games on YouTube.
Let's just
I mean,
watch.
they're okay. They're still like a 500 team. Like they're going to be one of those teams that never go on that 7 or 8 game run.
Team though, they're not like if you're a child watching this is not a team that you watch and you like carry this to the rest of your, like if you caught the Marlins with Dontrell and that era, good time.
You're saying this team doesn't have a guy that's going to captivate?
It's just not a thing. Like even like back when the Miami Heat had like Damon Jones and like they were winning fun games and Dwayne Wade came in, you're like, there's this young guy that I like. You look at the Heat now, it's like maybe Tyler Herro's cool enough to capture an audience.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like it might take a lot of people a minute or so, because keep in mind, he was in every trade package before the season started.
Yeah.
So like there's that. Like it's hard. It's also, maybe a lot of fans got into their mind that he wasn't even going to be here. So now we basically starting over with our love for Tyler Herro.
I agree with that because I think before, I would say probably before the summer of Dame, I would say Tyler Herro got louder pops in the arena than even Jimmy on some nights. Not in the playoffs, obviously, because he didn't have the playoff success, but people really love Tyler.
Man,
and then he got mentioned in the trade room. It's weird because we look back now at what Tyler was going through, right? And now look at what Jimmy is going through. Tyler may have handled it better.
More mature?
Yeah, and to say that he's younger, right? And probably it affected him a little bit more because it's something he's not, sometimes looking at situations like this, and I can tell you how I felt. I felt it as rejection, not as a ploy to do this or this with your roster or this, right? And being just a casualty of that. No, Tyler Herro would have been a casualty of Dame, right?
Yep.
But I didn't look at it that way. I look at it as, I'm not good enough to play on y'all team, right? And I think it it's weird that some guys look at it that way and some guys can accept that a lot sooner. So I looked at it as failure, that the team that drafted me don't want me anymore, right? So it's a weird dynamic. And I think Tyler, as we look back on it and see where he is now, he's getting into that prime, 26, 27. Like throughout the history of basketball, that's your prime. But for some reason, he had to be in his prime 3 years ago. But yeah, now that we look back, he probably handled himself like really well with it.
We'll take a break. Mix things up coming up next.
Previously on
Tobin and Leroy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Jerry Springer died.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I figured you would have found out during the show.
You are not the father.
That's
the
more
wrong. No way,
more
dude.
focus, dude.
Jesus.
The heater still in the
All right, welcome back.
Hey, Marcos,
Tobin
your boy
and
folded.
Leroy here with you. 560 WQM.
Your boy folded.
Who?
Drake took the lawsuit.
Oh no, that's a part of the plan, dude.
What?
Yeah, part of the plan. You know, you introduce the lawsuit just to kind of shake them up, and then you hit them with a whoop-de-doo, and then by the end of it,
when's he gonna put out music?
When is he gonna put on? Jeez, it is getting harder and harder to defend. I understand you got to go away after something like that for a little bit, let people forget. But he's been doing everything other than releasing music.
Let's get to the mix bag, huh?
Let's do it.
Beautiful sound clip music. What do you got for us today, Jared Hop?
It's good. It's pretty good. I have the unfortunate reality staring everybody in the face right now. Possibility of a Chiefs 3-peat.
Wow. Bad Riley's gonna be laughing all the way to the bank. He goes,
Yeah.
How about that?
He's gonna get Jimmy Butler off the books, and 3-peat merch is gonna be flying off the shelves. Nonetheless,
shouldn't he get even just questions about the 3-peat? He should get money about.
Yeah, but he might not even have the patent anymore.
No, we looked this up already. He still does.
Okay.
He re-ups.
Smart man. Andy Reid, another well-respected figure in sports, talked about the possibility of a 3-peat with the Chiefs. This is what Santa Claus had to say.
Sam, you don't ever go there. You're kind of tunneled in here, just trying to find another play that possibly works, or another defensive play that works, or special teams guys are doing that part. It's a weird dynamic that way. You don't look at that stuff. You're just ingrained in trying to make sure you get communicated and see enough tape, but communicate with players and teach them and so on.
How cold is it going to be in Kansas City this weekend?
Ooh, that is a good question.
That's a sneaky cold place, right? A sneaky cold place, because every game in January seems like it's 5 below.
It is estimated this weekend to range between 27 degrees of a high on Saturday to a potential low on Sunday of 3 degrees.
That's what I'm saying. This time of year, right? It always seems like Kansas City is the coldest place on earth.
Gotta stop allowing them to host games because, geez, this is.
You can do something about that.
Unbearable.
Beat them.
We're working on it. The game plan.
That was really the only knock against them, though. And then they won it last year, not as a home team.
Right.
Yeah.
They were.
That was like the one thing we had on them. We're like, they never win on the road. Oh, great. Oh, great. They're gonna win it again this year.
You think?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Probably.
This has the makings of a Detroit Super Bowl.
And emotionally.
Because you wouldn't have never expected it with all the injured guys they have.
Yeah, but eventually you got to pay the piper. Is that a thing? People say that, right? Eventually it's going to be
eventually it catches up to you.
That's what I'm saying.
But we've been saying that all year, and they're the number 1 seed.
I know, but we've also been saying that for 3 years with the Chiefs.
When do you stop saying it and just realize that they kind of got their stuff together from top to bottom.
Nice. Hopefully, because I'm not rooting for the Chiefs.
Ducks in a row. Yeah. What else you got, dude?
Can I ask you guys a question? Sure. You guys ever just sit at home and wonder, what are the Pittsburgh Steelers doing at quarterback?
I do wonder that.
Oh, do you?
What do you think, Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, that'd be nice. Except for Leroy wouldn't like that at all.
There's no way he could play. Mike, let me say these 2 words to you.
Okay.
These 2 names, and tell me what first thing comes to mind. Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers.
Do you want me to tell them both together or one
Yeah,
for each?
together. What you think happens in that situation?
Fight. Disagreement.
He's had head cases before, though. He's had
No,
Antonio.
dude.
Remember though, he did
He's
historically
and
get
keep
rid of
in mind,
Deli too.
you can deal with head cases at other positions. Wide receivers are always a little.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin go together better than Tomlin and Russell Wilson did, and Russell Wilson and him seem to work out just fine.
What?
People just don't like Russell Wilson's face, though.
Yeah, that's true.
They had 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. They ain't going to get 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Mike Tomlin answered, maybe gave us a bit of a insight as to what he's thinking at the quarterback position, because he says we currently don't have a quarterback under contract.
We don't have a quarterback under contract, and so we got some major discussions there. It was a really good experience with the 3 quarterbacks that were on our roster this year. We certainly are open to considering those guys, but there's a lot of work ahead of us. And the major work, obviously, starts first and foremost with just understanding what our options are, what the field looks like in terms of free agency, what the draft pool looks like, and then beginning the process in terms of decision-making based on, known variables.
You know who they just signed?
Skylar
Thompson.
That's right. Strange.
Hey.
Well, they don't have a quarterback under contract. They have a mini camp they have to run, so that's probably why.
You know what else is like? He basically just said this. We know we got 3 guys we can go to, but we want to see what else is out there.
Yeah.
That's basically what he said. So if you're one of the 3 quarterbacks that was on that team last year, and you heard nothing along the lines of, we like the guys we had, we want to try to, do what we can to get them back. Nothing like that. For none of them.
Schmidt, that says Sam Darnold, welcome to Pittsburgh.
Sounds about right.
What else you got?
Yesterday, the Golden State Warriors, another of the highly coveted teams, not really doing so well. They fall to under 500 yesterday with a loss to the Toronto Raptors. They're now 19-20 on the season. Darko Rajakovic. Close. Rajakovic.
I love that guy.
That is the Raptors head coach. I believe we have another drop from him.
He called something the complete BS.
Yes, that's right. This is great.
What happened tonight? This is completely BS. This is.
I love it.
That's my dream. If Erik Spoelstra ever wants to leave, all respect to Chris Quinn, if I can get a coach with an accent, I'm all for it.
Oh my goodness.
One thing gets fired up too. Like, I don't need you to be like, even keel all the time.
Oh, wait, dude.
No, I need you to be angry sometimes.
What happened tonight? This is completely BS. This is.
I don't understand. He said BS the first time, and then
yeah, I may have added an extra bleep in there for no reason, but it kind of just works with the vibe and everything. But he did have another quotable moment yesterday after the Raptors knocked off the Warriors. I think he said what a lot of Western coaches have been thinking for quite some time. He can't wait until Steph Curry retires.
Steph Curry is a player it's a privilege for all of us to live in an era and to work in this era in NBA when he's playing. I can't wait for him to retire. I'm going to get drunk that night. I promise you that. I'm going to celebrate.
Well, there's some weird stuff going on with the Warriors, man. Do you hear like some of these quotes that Steph is saying? He's like, we can't make a trade to mortgage the future. I'm like, does he want to get out?
What, you gonna play till you're 50? Because the future is now.
You want to finish their stuff, or you want to, you should like to be
a little tradesies.
Yeah.
You think Steph Curry? You think a simple trade of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, just 1 for 1? Not that it would happen that way. You think that's enough to take the Heat to a championship?
I don't know, but it would be fun. It would be fun.
Do you want to win?
I don't know, dude, but it would be fun.
Do you want to win or do you want fun?
Tyler Herro and Steph Curry in the same backcourt. He's got Klay Thompson again. He's got a prime Klay Thompson right next to him.
But better, right?
Well, you don't have to go that far.
All right.
Wow. Steph Curry's coming to the Heat.
Love that.
Why you start this dude off?
Wouldn't that be great if Micky Arison's meeting and he goes, hey, Jimmy, come in here, please. Hey, Mickey, hey, guess what? I couldn't make the Suns thing happen. But the good news is we're still sending you to a place you wanted to go. He goes, oh, great. Where are you sending me? He goes, Golden State. He goes, I appreciate that, Mickey. I've wanted to play with Steph for a long time, and you guys are doing right by me. He goes, oh no. We traded you for Steph Curry.
Yeah.
We traded you for Steph Curry. Jimmy, how about you take your big face coffee and stay on up and stay on out of here, dude.
Really? You think that's what Mickey's saying?
and then Micky Arison tells Jimmy Butler, splash. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, excuse me. And then he just derobes into his bathing suit and jumps and does a cannonball into the ocean because they're on the boat, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
They're on Micky Arison's boat. He goes, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to be a splash brother. See ya, cannonball.
What an amazing sight to have this billionaire owner.
We're here live at Biscayne Bay as billionaire Micky Arison has just cannonballed into the bay, shouting, "Cannonball! I'm a splash brother."
You just realize now, though, doesn't know to swim. Micky Arison never touched the water before. Anytime, well, no, I was just
we gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Vailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tonga Vailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys. Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Miami 560 WQAM is the channel there. We're on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Free in your app store. Go follow us there today. And, of course, on regular old radio. Let's get the headlines brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. Doral Volkswagen. Choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, Frog Boy, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen.
Great deals are at Doral Volkswagen.
That's what they say, dude. That's what they say.
That's right.
Yeah. So we got the playoffs set up for this week. Chiefs taking on the Texans. They're a touchdown and a half favorite. Patrick Mahomes, he on the bye week welcomed to the world his third child.
Oh, yay.
What?
Another one.
What do you mean?
I mean, God bless him.
Actually, it's up to 8.5 now. Oof. Here's Patrick Mahomes on what he did while at the hospital.
It's been cool to welcome another baby girl in our family and see how my other kids react to her and having baby sissy and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of fun, and it was cool that football was on TV when I was in the hospital, so I got to watch a little bit. And so Brittany was kind enough to let us watch football as she was getting ready to give birth to our second daughter.
Wow. All right.
Everything going well for this guy.
What do you mean, dude?
Everything's going great.
It's good news. Sometimes it's good for good things to happen to people.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Hey, you are much more relaxed than next kid. You know, I don't know if I'd have the balls to watch a game during the first kid.
Sure. Yeah.
Second kid, we were watching Heat Whiz that night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, only kid born during the Heat's amazing finals run.
Oh,
and the Panthers were on a finals run that time. It was a good time.
Did you watch any of those in the hospital? Or?
I did. Because
But you were sleeping, all right?
She was sleeping. Yeah, the baby and I, we were kind of up because it was that first night. You know, that first night they go crazy.
Oh, crazy
that first night. But yeah, I was able to watch a little basketball while she slept.
Third kid, you're just like, all right.
Aside from what I hear, yeah.
He's like, let me know when it's over.
I've heard crazy things.
It's like, honey, quick, quiet. Commanders Bucks is crazy right now.
Crazy.
Can't leave. Baker just fumbled. Somebody says my 305 Florida man 561. My son was born the night LeBron broke the scoring record. I was watching. The one where Thomas Bryant was in the post calling for the ball.
Oh, yeah. He was open.
State South says, imagine a nursery rhyme from Patrick Mahomes. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet.
Oh, God.
Eating her curds and whey. I don't know. Along came a spider. That was quite a sight for a sight to her. And then something
sat down beside her.
Down beside her, and then she ran away.
Oh, look, another Super Bowl.
Honey, another ring for a baby. That's why they keep having kids. It's like, hey, you got to keep tradition going.
Absolutely.
All right. Very good. Congrats to the Mahomes family.
Blessings to them.
They are now 8.5 point favorites. Texans. I don't know. The Texans have that Dolphins on them. What's like the idea that they're going to come into an outdoor environment? I mean, they do have a good front four.
No, I don't. I mean, me personally, I just think that you're playing a lot of good teams that time of year. And so it may seem that you can't never win in the cold. but it has more to do with the other team being really good.
Lost to the Chiefs in week 16, 27-19. All right, we'll keep an eye on it, man. That is what's going down that night. We got Commanders at Lions at 8 o'clock. Detroit's a 9.5 point favorite. Whew. Some big spreads on that side.
It is the one rare thing in sports where you've had that many guys on the injury reserve list and you still are favored like this. And it's almost like they're treating them like nobody's hurt, which is that never happens. So it's a rare thing. I think the last time I can think of, like when we actually knew of all the guys being hurt, was when Kurt Warner took over for Green. Was it Trent Green he took over for?
Yes.
When he took over and the coach cried, "We were rallying behind Kurt Warner," and they went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the last time I remember injuries like that Mahomes Bucks, like everybody remembered the line was like down to like their backups, and he was running for his life. That was like, but you were kind of like still, yeah, but it's the Chiefs.
Right.
Kind of, it reached its point where like, yeah.
He's still running for his life out there.
Sunday, the Rams take on the Eagles. Eagles are 5.5 point favorites. That's at 3 o'clock, and then of course you have Ravens Bills, which everybody's looking forward to. That's
I think
the only close spread of the week.
The most intriguing game to me is the Rams Eagles.
That's more intriguing to you than Ravens
No,
Bills?
no. I'm just saying, other than that's the game of the year.
Oh, okay. Number 2.
Right. Simply because people have slept on the Rams. They've been playing really good for the last 2 months. Really good. So it'll be interesting to see, how much that travel affects them. Playing on the road, playing in Philly, nonetheless. Right. Yeah.
Why are you lashing on the newspapers?
I was just reading that. Dear newspapers, you're not getting my quarter. Just let me read your article.
Every newspaper.
Because when you go on, you click a link,
yeah,
and it tries to make you pay.
I'm like, all right, fine. I can't read the Houston Chronicle. Maybe the Kansas City Star will have more information on the weather. And every one of them is just like, you have to subscribe a quarter for 6 months. I'm like, you're not getting my quarter, dude.
We have a Herald subscription.
I know. Len was kind enough to get it for us.
Mm-hmm. I have a Sentinel.
Do you?
I do.
Well, that's all you need. A Herald, Sentinel, nothing else.
What else do I need?
It's good. You're good.
I like the Sentinel app.
They're not going to tell you what the conditions would be in.
Tell you what I hated though when I had a subscription to the Palm Beach Post, sending me the newspaper. No thanks.
Really?
Oh, who needs it? Like I got it already in my computer. It was like that thing went in the trash can every single week. I never they sent me that paper every week, and I'm like, I just want it for the sports page. What are you doing? I'm a Neanderthal. Take a break. Back with more for this.
He Mr. Bombastic. We order some bombastic, romantic, fantastic.
All right, welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. David Dwork going to join us. About 10 minutes. We'll talk a little puck with him. Cats win last night. They beat the New Jersey Devils in a shootout after Paul Maurice called out everybody. Shook up the lines a little bit. And they end up getting the win in a very tightly contested contest. So we'll talk to David Dwork about all of it. Of course, we remain on Jimmy Watch. And I got to give a shout out to Drew Starr, by the way. He may be AI. I don't know what he is, but he is, cranking out Jimmy Butler content on Twitter by the second. And apparently Bam Adebayo did an interview with Mark Spears from ESPN. And he said that you understand it's a business at the end of the day, and I'll leave it at that. Bam said, JB is one of my guys, so for me, we give him space. We let him and management handle it, get involved in that, and get involved in that. We worry about getting these wins because at the end of the day, whatever happens to him and the management, somebody's still got to go out and play these games. Says we can't let the season go to bleep for the young guys. I look at them because young guys are trying to get a job. Guys are trying to be something in this league. And it's like you can't let the outside noise distract that. But for me, it's really about getting everybody on the same page and understand that we can still win. Bam also said that everybody needs somebody to look at. They need that voice, that one voice where we get into the trenches and it gets dark. People lose direction. We need somebody to be that enforcer to understand that we can still win and we have enough. There you go. That was Junior. That was Bam Adebayo to Mark Spears.
Whether Jimmy is there or not, they playing the Lakers tonight.
Yep.
Whether Jimmy is there on Friday, they play in San Antonio. And I think that's the message that he was given. Oh, Denver. When do they play San Antonio?
Sunday, I think.
Sunday. Okay, I got the two games mixed up. So it's Denver on Friday.
Wemby Mania. I will not be boots on the ground for that one. I'll be at Legoland.
Oh, that's fun.
Is Legoland in Orlando?
Winter Haven.
Kinda, yeah.
Winter Haven. They got a good golf course there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wish I golfed.
You ain't golfing this time, man. It's gonna be cold up there.
Oh, yeah,
dude, you shook me with. I looked today at Vegas because I just thought Vegas was kind of warm. Maybe it gets. I was shook. I looked today, 32.
What?
Like what?
Vegas? And windy. You thought I was kidding when I said I lived there. I know what I was talking about.
I don't like that.
Lived there.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. Get to golf every day. No rain. No nothing. Then it was. My first day there, I went golfing. It was 45 with a 25-mile-an-hour wind.
Jeez.
Like I'm stuck here for 3 more months.
Oh, I need my lease up. Dying to go back to Minnesota.
I think I left a month early. That's
Wow.
how bad it was. Yeah, this time of year.
You think the aquarium's still open?
Yeah. I have no doubt.
Maybe we can catch the piranha feeding this time.
The only piranha feeding I'm gonna be looking at is when we go to eat.
Pretty wild. Yeah, man. So those are the Jimmy and all that stuff. I mean, you got to get set up. But Leroy's right. They got a big one tonight against the Lakers. That's a great road trip. If they can finish 4-2. That'd be a hell of a road trip.
Yeah.
To come back from. I mean,
I hate to say this.
You have a big what if you finish 3-3, and especially with that double OT loss to the Kings, you're like,
is this the we can or can't play without Jimmy tour?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like you've said, he's missed a lot. They've kind of just been what they are, which is probably they've peaked at 3 over 500. They've been 3 over 500 3 times.
Right.
The longest win streak I think they've had is 3 or 4.
Yeah, how
they haven't gone on a 7-game run or anything like that.
Right.
Like the Kings just did.
That in itself puts you right in the middle, right in playing range.
Hopefully they have Bam tonight because they don't have Bam. I don't think they got a prayer against the Lakers.
because they're just so big.
And just let Kevin Love take a nap, dude. You think he starts Kel'el tonight if Bam can't go, or is he going to do Kevin Love again? He's going to do Kevin Love again, isn't he?
Totally going to do Kevin
Love again.
I would give Kel'el the AD minutes. At no point in time do I want Kevin Love standing behind AD, trying to put some weight on him. No.
Yep.
But
right now,
it'll be an excellent. I think we can say whatever we want about this, but this is like a litmus test to show the Rook where he is versus where a great player is.
Yeah.
And so you give him those minutes, you put him out there, you coach him up, you have him use all of his techniques and stuff like that. And then that becomes a teaching moment for the future. Because you're like, hey, you're going to be dealing with people like this all the time. So this is where you need to get better. But if you kind of pick and choose when he plays, you're kind of creating a soft landing. And right now it's just time to keep it real. Go out there and get them minutes against AD.
I think these things can be beneficial. It makes me think of I remember there was a time in 21-22, first year Kyle got here. Bam was out with thumb surgery and Jimmy was out with Jimmy. And, they had a big win in Phoenix, who was just off the finals. I was like, yeah, it was a big, it felt like a big win at the time without everybody. So if they do have to win this one without Bam tonight, it's going to be a challenge. But man, if Kel'el is a big reason for that and have a big bounce back from Nico, I think that would be huge for the team.
Right.
Maybe big with Bam too, but I'm just saying, if they were able to do it, man, that would really show something because they look lost without him.
It'll probably show Spo a lot more than it'll show anybody else that he can have some trust, with certain guys when Bam's not in the lineup.
Trust is important, Leroy, especially when it comes to your dry cleaning. You cannot just have some raggedy bum go out there taking care of your finest wardrobe. I would never do that. That's why we always use A&T Dry Cleaners. For the best dry cleaning in South Florida, use our friends over at A&T Dry Cleaners. 40-plus years, owned and run. The owners that's our guy, Leroy. Big fan of the show, and he wants to take care of our audience.
That's right. That's right, Tobin. Give him a call at 954-610-9383. That's Ara. Give him a call at 954-610-9383. They have a seamstress on site and can do same-day alterations, but you got to give them a call because some alterations take time. You lost a little weight for the holidays, your New Year's resolution. Some of your new clothes don't fit just right. Ira will hook you up. Just give them a call, 954-610-9383. And guess what? If you mention Tobin and Leroy, you get 25% off your order. 25%. Some of these things get expensive. What you need to get it hemmed. You need it taken in. You want these new clothes to look good. Ira will hook you up. Just text them, give them a call, 954-610-9383. Once you use A&T Dry Cleaners, you'll never launder your own clothes again.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Let's get to the road to repeat, which is brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out. When it's game time, make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers.
Oh, man, that means we got to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line, which is brought to us by Toyota of Hollywood. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Our guy from the Hockey News, co-host of The Hockey Show, David Dwork. Hello, buddy. How are you? I don't hear him. He's muted, JFig.
He's pulling in Leroy.
Oh, well, he's unmuting himself.
That's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
All right.
My bad.
Hey, accountability is the best policy, my friend.
I just hopped over the boards and fell flat on my face. So that's a rough start to the shift.
Yeah.
David.
Hockey talk there.
All right. Just want to say that.
Sir?
Miss you, David. Love you, buddy.
Good to have you back, buddy.
Oh, man.
Good win by the Cats last night. You know, they get the shootout win over the Devils, kind of after about as ornery as we've heard Paul Maurice in a regular season. He seemed not too pleased with how things have been lately. What have you made of this Cats team so far right now and what they're going through?
I think it's just kind of part of the role of a season. Like, I mean, they're about halfway through right now. For the last several weeks, they've had a lot of guys that have been sick. They've had a few guys that are playing through injuries, which is nothing out of the ordinary, you know, particularly for this time of the season when it's winter and they're traveling a lot. So to see them kind of meandering their way through the schedule right now, it's not, you know, horribly surprising. You'd like to see them playing a little bit better, but again, it's the middle of the season. They're second place in the division. They're right where they need to be in terms of the standings. And again, if you look, they're one of the best road teams in the NHL. So I don't think they're terribly worried about, you know, where they are in the standings. I think things are going to work out as the season progresses. But yeah, right now, I think Paul Maurice is more concerned with the effort level that he sees than he is any kind of, concerned about long-term issues with the team. I think just night in and night out. And again, when you're dealing with so many of these issues, it's, human nature. But I think that's where Maurice is at right now. He's just kind of dealing with the day-to-day just because I would think he knows long-term things will be okay.
Dave, this happens every year though, right? We have this conversation with you about this time every year. They go on the stretch and sometimes Paul Maurice will say, look, we're not playing bad. We're just losing games. This time he was a little more upset about the effort. But come January, right, that lull before the final stretch where you start jockeying for position, this has happened the last 3 years or as long as Paul Maurice has been here. And shouldn't we be like, okay, like we've seen this story before. Let's just, settle down a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I've been thinking for the last couple of weeks, just based off of the commentary that I've been seeing on like social media and the reaction from some fans. Like, guys, take it easy. Like, you've seen this the last couple of years, and all they've done the last couple of years is go to the Stanley Cup final and win the Stanley Cup. And it's a lot of the same cast of characters there. They've actually improved a lot of it in the forward group. So like, I would just take it easy right now. Like you just said, Leroy, it's the middle of January. The playoffs are like 4 months from now.
Right.
So let's just, let the team get together. There's still a lot of new guys on this squad. I think they have like 8 or 9 new players from last year. So it's going to take a little time to get everybody on the same page once again, to learn these systems. And that's what they're working towards right now. And I think that's kind of ties into where Paul Maurice can get his game-to-game frustrations, just kind of implementing what he's trying to do and get everybody in line ahead of the playoffs. But getting there, and once they get there, I mean, just based off what I've seen from the last couple of years with this team, I'm not terribly concerned.
Does this happen with all teams, or we're just honed in on the Panthers so we don't recognize that this happens throughout hockey for stretches of the season?
Yeah, I think, in any sport, baseball, basketball, any sport that takes, more than half a year to complete their season, and it's got so many games on a day-to-day basis, you're going to get some wear down. Now, basketball is a whole nother issue right now that we don't even get into because like they get a hangnail and they're out for 2 weeks. But I mean, with hockey, I just feel like when you combine the physicality, the cold weather, the travel, the time of the year, like it's fairly common to see, things pop up between, Thanksgiving and, I guess March. But, like you said, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. And I'd be a lot more concerned if we were talking about guys being sick and guys dealing with injuries when we're getting into April than right now in January, when I'd rather them be going through it and kind of getting themselves ready for that time of the year.
Is there have you been impressed by the yes man, Boquist? I feel like he's really hit his stride the last few weeks.
It's hard not to be. I mean, look at what he's doing on a line with Anton Lundell and Carter Verhaeghe. They've been probably the Panthers' best, more consistent line over the last maybe week or two. And Boquist has been the spark. I like that he does a little bit of everything. He's very feisty. He's not afraid to get into it. He maybe gets caught a little bit doing that, but I think on a line with a guy like Carter Verhaeghe, who's just much more tenacious in speed, and Anton Lundell, who's, he's got all the skill in the world, but he's maybe not going to be the guy that gets into those dirty areas in terms, not in terms of going into the boards, but in terms of getting physical after the whistle and things like that. He's not that guy. So I think the line really complements each other really well. And Boquist has been, like so many of the other guys, like Nosek has been quietly great on that fourth line, similarly to what Kevin Stenlund was last year. So just, all these little tweaks and things that Bill Zito does is done really well. But Boquist has been great, Tobes.
What do you make of how important do you think last night was for Spencer Knight? Like, you have a national TV game, everything that he's been through. I mean, obviously it's still Bob's team for, I guess, at least a couple more years, maybe this, I don't know, but Spencer has had a long journey back, and now, they have the trust in him. What have you made of his year so far?
I think it's been a fun progression to watch play out. Obviously he's had his, ups and downs, ebbs and flows, or whatever you want to say this year, but to see the way he's been rounding out lately on the ice has been awesome, because that's, obviously that's where you make your bread, and that's where you need to do it. But the way that he's spoken, off the ice throughout the season, whether it's been after a shutout or after a game where he kind of gets shelled, he's been very just kind of steady as she goes. I mean, just kind of what you'd want to see from both a guy that's been through what he's been through over the last 18 months and from a goaltender in general. Like, it's a tough position to play, and particularly a backup goalie, because you don't know how often you're going to be in there. You could get thrown in at a very random time. So to see him just so kind of not stoic really, but because he's a happy guy, like he smiles a lot, but just to see him appear to be so comfortable in his own skin, and to see the way that it's producing on the ice and the way that he's played the last few games, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it may be starting to all come together for Spencer Knight, as you would think with, a goaltender with, a high draft pick, first round pick, somebody who's viewed as somebody that can be very successful at this level. Maybe it's starting to come together for Spencer Knight. You don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse. It's a goalie. He's going to have his ups and downs, right. But to see where he's at right now in that progression, I think it's awesome. And I'm really pleased with it, both from a journalist perspective and from a goalie perspective. I'm really happy to see where Spencer Knight is at today.
Level of excitement you have for the Winter Classic coming to South Florida?
A scale has yet to be invented to measure my level of excitement. Just the idea of going to any outdoor game is awesome right there, right? You throw the Panthers into the mix and it's like, oh man, they're going to be the center of attention for a little while. And then it's in our backyard. It's in a ballpark that, however you feel about that land plot, that building, it's somewhere we all have some kind of connection to. And now we're going to be going to a bleeping outdoor hockey, hopefully outdoor hockey game. Hopefully they can get the roof open. But they probably have a plan for that, right? Because it's 2025 and they did an outdoor game in LA, for crying out loud. So I'm pumped. Like, just when I start to think about it, like, man, I'm going to be there, and, who knows what kind of events they're going to have surrounding it. It just seems like so much fun. I feel like the fans down here, the way that we've seen them show out for the playoffs the last couple of years, and the way that they showed out for the parade and the All-Star game, like, it's going to be a spectacle. I can't wait to see what the league does, what the city does. I think it's going to be super exciting. And I'm pumped. I cannot even, I'm shaking thinking about how excited I am right now. Yeah. The hair's sticking up on my arm, and this is awesome.
Do you how excited are you? Because I don't we were talking about this yesterday. Leroy did that thing where he asked me a hockey question. I don't know, so I'll kick it to you. What the hell is this Four Nations thing that's coming up in a couple weeks? Because I'm very intrigued about it. The Panthers have a lot of guys in this thing that's coming up.
They do. They have 8 players. They have Bill Zito is part of Team USA. They have their equipment guys part of Team USA. Their video guy, he's involved. They're all in it, and it's basically kind of replacing the All-Star game this year because there's no All-Star game this year. This is instead, and it's US, Canada, Sweden, Finland playing a round robin. The first 4 games for each are going to be in Montreal. And then the final round robin games will be in Boston, and they'll have their semifinal and their final. And it's basically best on best, which if you talk to any hockey player, hockey fan, that's what we want. We want to see best on best. We want to see what the best that, whether it's at an all-star game, which I just stopped myself right there because an all-star game is an all-star game. Nobody's trying. Like you put your country's flag on your sweater, you go out there, you're representing. That's a different ball game. So I think this is what we're really excited for, is just to see guys that, we see them in the NHL and those kind of matchups, but that's really it. The Olympics come along once every, forever. So this is going to be really cool.
Are all the Finns playing for Finland? Like, are all Panthers Finns we basically are little Finland. So are we sending all of them? No.
Barkov, Mikkola, Luosterainen, and Lundell, they're all going.
Excellent.
Wow. I've never experienced, I know when players switch teams, you play against your buddy or whatever, but all of my friends were on the offensive side of the ball, so I never played against them. But hockey and basketball, you actually play against each other. How weird is that? That's got to be a weird thing, right? Having to check your teammate, right?
Yeah, that's what's cool about hockey, though. I can't speak for other sports or basketball or things like that, but I know with hockey, it's kind of like a well-known thing. Like it happens on the ice, stays on the ice. And obviously there's lines that once in a while somebody may cross something, but quite generally, you leave your personal relationships, all that, you leave it off the ice. You get out there, you're gonna talk smack, you're gonna hit a guy in the boards. It can feel personal. I mean, Leroy football, it's hard not to be personal in those moments where you're trying to obliterate somebody. But that's what's really cool about hockey. And we talk about how hockey guys are just great guys, that they can go out there and really try to mangle each other and then go hug and have dinner right afterwards. Like it's all good.
Trevor brings up a good point. Is Russia not on because of Putin? What's the deal? Why no Russian in the 4-cup nation?
Yeah, because then it would be 5-cup.
Well, I understand that. But in all respect, I think I've heard of more good Russian hockey players than Swedish.
Let me tell you, David, if I had asked that question, old Dum Dum would have said the same thing to me. So that's not.
Yeah.
So that's why
that's a good answer, though. I think that's what we should roll with.
I got you. All right. I just
it's been the whole Russia thing has been kind of taboo for a little while. The Olympics, they didn't have Russia. They had the athletes representing Russia or whatever they did. So it's been a little funky. The Stanley Cup has not been to Russia in several years. So for now it's just kind of the thing that nobody really talks about too much, but it's kind of
Gotcha. Do you feel like this is does year 3 Matthew Tkachuk feel like he's fighting even more people? Because I feel like now every night this dude is legitimately in a brawl.
I think he has this role that he plays, and he really enjoys his job. And I maybe guys are looking a little bit more to agitate him. Maybe he's more noticeable.
I feel like I've watched. Noticeable. That's a good job, but I feel like I've seen 7 games this year where legitimately there's a fight after the game. It's just every single time, win or lose, there's somebody fighting Matthew Tkachuk after the final whistle, just because they're just sick of his ass. I don't know.
Well, here's my thought on the whole thing. Matthew Tkachuk, we all can agree, plays kind of an old school style of hockey that maybe would have been better suited in the 80s and 90s, just because he's just as physical as he is an offensive player. My big problem with the NHL right now is that a clean hit is responded to with such ferocity that you think a guy just got 2-hand high sticked in the face. There used to be a time where clean hits were just kind of okay, you just got lined up and knocked out and we're going to go on with our lives because that's hockey. But now every hit is responded to with a melee. And it's we saw last night when the Panthers were playing in New Jersey. So I think that kind of plays into it as well. Right now, maybe guys are getting a little soft or a little too sensitive or whatever, but that's an element of the game that it's kind of frustrating because those big hits are such a fun part of hockey. And, now we're almost villainizing them, if that's a word, on their own. like on our own as hockey.
Isn't it weird? Because when I see Tkachuk play, I think his skill set doesn't fit the physicality that he plays with, right? Because he's very skilled with the puck. And usually those guys are not as close to that kind of physicality as he is. And I think that's what throws a lot of people off. You think, oh, he's just a goon, but that's not the case at all.
No, he's like Bill Zito said the day that they signed him. I think it's like a perfect descriptor. He's a unicorn. Like guys just don't do that. Like
Right.
he can play both sides. He can wear both hats. And I think like it makes me think of Sasha Barkov in that Barkov also, like Tkachuk, all the skill in the world, but it's up here. If Barkov had the kind of mentality of a guy like Alex Ovechkin to just like focus on scoring, and that's it, Barkov could be scoring 50, 60 goals a year with his skill. No doubt in my mind, but that's not who he is. He's a guy that focuses just as much on his defensive play, just like Tkachuk focuses just as much on the physical element and getting to that part of hockey. And I think that's kind of why the Panthers have been such a well-rounded team, is they have so many guys that can do so many different things, but not necessarily their main focus or what their game's modeled around.
My favorite thing is always when somebody tries to fight Barkov and he goes, like, I'm not in the mood. I don't want to.
He almost smiles more in those situations than when he scores a goal.
Right, that's the direct opposite of Tkachuk.
Right.
Tkachuk is like, hold on, give me a second.
Dude, he has all of the devils were on him last night. I'm like, what is happening?
All of them.
All of them. Like who's in the middle there? That's Chucky.
No, there's a picture that my buddy Roy Bellamy posted on Twitter where it's like all you see is like red jerseys, and then you just see Tkachuk's head sticking out of the pile.
And he's smiling.
Yeah, it's just so perfect, smiling. Matthew Tkachuk, because he enjoys it. Right. I think he's got like a secret like pleasure for pissing off goalies. I've always got my eye in the goal crease. He does so good at getting under a goalie's skin without doing anything illegal. Like as a goaltender, like you don't want to be bothered too much out there, and he's so good at just the parts of the game that maybe not a lot of guys want to get into or whatever. But that's what makes him such a valuable guy on this team, is that he does everything that maybe guys don't even have players on the other team that do. And then he goes out there and he'll score 40 goals.
That's the weird part to me, because the two situations that we talked about, the 40 goals and him being an irritant, that usually doesn't come in one person.
No, very rare. It's like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, anybody in in this generation that's been that kind of player. And it's really hard to think of. Like they were much more common, in the, back in the 80s and 90s when guys were like, it was a more fun physical game back then. Now, it's much more, and, rightly so to an extent. You got to focus on safety, but it's fun to watch Matthew Tkachuk do his thing, man.
It's fun to watch you do your thing, buddy. Go follow David Dwork, the Hockey News, co-host of the Hockey Show with Roy Bellamy, with Meadowlark Media as well. Does a fantastic job. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks,
Dave. Thank you, man. It's always nice to be here, be around awesome people. Good to see you guys.
Alrighty.
Take care, David. We'll take a break. Back after this.
Afternoons in the sports world are made better
man. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Thanks again to David Dwork for joining the program. I don't know about you guys. You feel that?
Yeah, how replayable, man. I don't know about you, Leroy. Replay
You
shirt.
guys like this brand of this shirt? It's called Interview.
Interview shirt.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Hey, let's get to headlines here. Brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. The Panthers did defeat the New Jersey Devils last night, 2-1 in a shootout. Anton Lundell and that great hair.
2-1 filthy.
With the winner. It was a 2-1 filthy. Paul, thank you. Spencer Knight, he got the win. And nice job by the Cats getting that one. We'll get back into some Florida Panthers later on. They will be back in action tomorrow as they welcome in the Detroit Red Wings to town.
Detroit. That was my first professional hockey game I ever went to.
Oh, they do that at the hockey game too? I
No.
know they do it. Distance
They
game.
don't.
Oh.
They
So
don't.
you like?
Yes. But I remember going when the Red Wings were really good at the time. And it was like, man, crazy. Because I gone to Michigan hockey games, but they don't fight in college. And they don't have like the hard hits.
Oh,
pansies.
No, that's just the rules.
That's too much.
It's college, dude.
Too much.
Sorry.
You know what they call the Final Four in hockey?
Frozen Four.
Yep.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I can name them right now.
Go.
All right. Michigan.
Yep.
Boston College. Boston University.
Denver.
And,
No, Denver, like they're usually in it.
Denver has a university?
Yeah. Denver, they're in it.
I was going to say Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota's always in the Frozen
I was
Four.
going to say Minnesota for sure.
Pick
I feel
last year's Frozen Four.
I feel like the Gophers are always in the Frozen Four.
Two Boston schools though.
University and college, both Bostons,
Hmm.
Michigan and Minnesota.
Wow. That's probably right. That's probably right.
Let's see.
FIU?
2024. Who is the first? Oh, that was 2024. Hockey tournament.
Let's see.
Maybe we can stuff everybody into Pines Ice Arena. Get a good practice. It's the only ice skating thing that I know.
No, Leroy's right. Denver. How about that?
Denver.
Yeah.
Never heard of Denver University.
Denver's always in.
Oh,
Never
that,
heard of
Hey,
it.
I know money laundering. when I see it.
here's the record for most Frozen Fours. Michigan 28, Boston College 25, Boston University 24, Minnesota 23, North Dakota 22, Denver 19, Harvard 13.
Dude, we nailed it. Look at this. Last year,
Yeah.
Frozen Four. I'm not trolling here. You can come and check. I know JFig's gonna accuse me of fake Google. We nailed this first try. Boston College played Michigan. Boston University played Denver.
Yep. Yeah. I
Denver
know.
beat Boston College.
That's crazy. Like, it's the craziest thing in the world.
Nailed it, dude.
Denver. Like it catches you off guard, but every time
I've never
the
heard of
Frozen
that
Four
college.
comes up, Denver's like
Oh, yeah, I just-
highly ranked.
It's a private university, nonprofit too, like a research university. I don't know.
They can
How
play
about
hockey
that?
though.
They can play hockey.
Yeah.
Does Denver not even have a hockey team, like a professional hockey team?
Denver has the Colorado Avalanche. They do.
Colorado. There it is. Okay.
They've.
Why do they call them Colorado?
Why do we call them Florida? Who knows?
We don't.
Huh?
Oh, we do
We
call
do?
them the Florida Panthers.
We
I know
do.
why. I know why. Because they were in Sunrise.
But they weren't originally. They were at Miami Arena originally.
Yeah, that's true. Because remember, they made Miami change the name with the new stadium.
The Marlins.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah, the
Florida
Marlins.
Marlins. They made it change to Miami.
Yeah.
Answer for your crimes, Wayne.
Oh man. Anyway, last night One Miami team, the Hurricanes,
Rubbed.
89-54 to the
Dude,
Duke.
I was just doing a little because they had that Tiger thing on.
Tiger King?
No, the TGL.
Oh, I saw it. What is that?
It's weird. Whatever they are golfing in, the building is about as high tech as you're ever gonna see as far as golf is concerned. So it's a simulator. The green adjusts to the hole they're playing.
My little cousin was one of the ball boys yesterday for it.
When you hit a ball on the thing, then you go to a spot on said green, and a light shows up, and you have to put the ball in the light.
That's kind of
so
fun.
it's
like Top Golf
times a million.
That's cool.
Wow.
So is this like his answer to live?
No, it's like basically it's like a bowling league. That's what it looks like. Just imagine,
Fun.
Guys, right? And so they play alternate shot for like 6 holes.
What channel was it on?
Huh?
What channel was it on?
ESPN.
ESPN. It actually it averaged more viewers than Duke versus Miami. Apparently,
Did it really?
yeah, it averaged one.
It's really cool.
Well,
but
Duke versus Miami, in fairness, was done in 2 seconds.
It's really cool, but it also seems like something that's going to wear out its welcome rather quickly. But it is fun. If it was a bar, like I don't know if you could do it that way.
Go?
Huh?
Can we go?
No,
We
they're not.
should go.
They're not. I don't think they're all in Palm Beach.
They are all in Palm Beach, are they?
They are.
I don't know. One of
So
the
they're
teams
every-
is Jupiter.
Yeah, there's Jupiter. There's LA. There's Boston.
I'm a Jupiter guy.
No,
I'm gonna
they
go
do them. I'm trying to think. They're not all in. Check. I'm not. I'm almost positive they're not all in.
You're probably right. You
What
know
do
more
you
than I
know,
would.
dude. It says
This is why you were the head of Tea Time.
the SoFi Center in Palm Beach Gardens.
Are they all there?
That's what it says. Yeah, I'm looking at the
Okay.
schedule.
Then they're all there. Because it's like I would say it would be pretty hard to build that building a bunch
Multiple
of times. But they had Serena was there. She's part owner of a team.
That's kind of cool.
Ooh, can we own a team?
Oh, she was on the broadcast last night.
Yeah.
Leroy, will they give you a team?
For a small fee, they'll give anybody a team.
The Leroy
Tiger
chicken.
got mollywopped, much like the Hurricanes.
Did he
This
really?
team. Oh yeah. But the setup and the theory behind it is really cool. It's fun to watch, but the whole time you're thinking, I need one of those simulators at my house.
Did you see Puma's suing Tiger for Sunday Red?
What?
And I just got to say, Puma, is this because nobody wears Puma?
Why? Because his little tiger looks like their puma?
Yeah, because, tigers and Pumas look alike. They're big cats.
Although those LaMelo balls, Puma.
Are they?
Yeah.
The kids love them.
Listen, nobody's buying Puma. Okay.
Come on.
It's you and Ricky Fowler. That's it.
Oh,
So like
you need a third placer. You need a
so
checker.
to sue Tiger over merchandise you was never gonna sell anyway.
Are they third place or is New Balance third place?
Oh no.
As far as what?
As shoes, like it goes Nike, Adidas.
Adidas.
Remember Reebok?
Reebok?
No,
No,
way.
Reebok's owned by Adidas now, isn't it?
Yeah, the Reebok.
Reebok messed my feet up.
Yes,
Who
I guess
else?
Puma's third place, dude.
No.
I always like
Not
on a-
as far as shoes.
Yeah.
There's way more shoe companies out there that Puma's like 5th.
I like on a nature doc when you have the British guy and he calls him a puma.
Puma.
Look
Really?
here, we
You
got
would
the
find
puma.
you would find excitement in that.
Look at it as it stalks its prey. The puma is coming after
Really?
its prey.
That doesn't matter. Oh
Yeah,
man, I seen a gazelle.
What do they
I
call
was watching a video. A gazelle did some old Barry Sanders stuff.
Oh man.
Shook a lion. Oh my goodness.
Look here, we see the
Rihanna is with
jaguar.
Puma.
The puma and jaguar, the two finest big cats out there.
Oh, the Puma.
As you can see,
Do it.
now
That's not when she's sampling other people's music.
Dua
Puma.
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 Yeah.
Mm.
As you see here, the cheetah.
But they don't. Puma is a lifestyle shoe. It's not really a. I don't think of them as an athletic shoe, right?
What?
I mean, they are.
Nah.
They've done
I
it, but-
always find it to be like a soccer company. That's what I always
say,
thought
like
of them as.
soccer.
Like they were like the second to Adidas in soccer.
Yeah, for
until
sure.
Nike got into the game.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I think. Bolt, did
I was
Usain
gonna
Bolt
say
have
Bolt,
Puma?
yeah.
I remember. I associate Puma with
Track,
Usain Bolt.
I will say this: I've seen a lot of track people wear Puma.
Come on, man. You sleeping on Puma.
No, I'm not.
Sleeping
No,
on
I'm
the
not.
pew.
No, I'm not.
Sitting here.
Here's the problem with some shoe companies and clothing companies, right? They all have that European fit,
Yes.
which means it's for tall, skinny white dudes. Okay. And there's people over here. I'm gonna say it as nice as I can.
All right.
Some of my Latino friends
All right.
try to squeeze their fat ass in some white Puma golf pants
That's true.
or Adidas, and I'm like, hey, get the baggies, dog. Get the loose fit. But
We'll take a
they love it. They love that Puma.
We'll take a break. Back with more to this.
I'll never let you down, baby.
It's Young Gravy.
Indeed.
Very impressive rapper.
Hasn't done much since this song, though.
He has a song I listened to.
Oh, nice.
With Shania Twain.
Oh, wow. What a collab. The collab you didn't know you needed.
I didn't know I needed it. I enjoyed it. It's about White Claws.
Wow. He seems to be the guy you want to go to when talking about
I
White
think
Claws.
it's about him, trying to seduce a MILF who wants a gluten-free drink.
Ah, makes sense. That's his thing. He likes the MILFs.
He likes the old ladies.
Likes the old ladies. He's like
For Young Gravy.
Play quarterback for the Jets with that kind of mentality.
Oh man.
Duo with the Puma.
Jeez.
Oh, I just seen this now.
Woo! That was a violent one.
Sneezy McSneeze
Hey.
pants over there, dude.
You could put out them wildfires in California with that sneeze.
Oh,
Should have brought me in. Me and Nico just put some pepper. We got some stuff from Anthony Chiang of the Miami Herald. Miami Heat getting set for the Lakers. He writes, the Miami Heat's decision not to offer a max contract extension to Jimmy Butler this past offseason is at the center of their seemingly fractured relationship. But both parties have also since developed an extensive list of grievances against each other. Sources close to Butler insist that one of his biggest issues with the Heat has become his role in the offense this season. Butler vocalized that frustration after the last game he played before the Heat suspended him for multiple instances of conduct detrimental to the team over the course of the season. Remember when he was like, I felt like I did my job after he scored just 9 points. And he said, it can be my role here. That's not what I'm used to. I haven't been that since my first, second, third year in the league where I just went out there and played defense. I competed, I guard, I try not to let my man score, and that's what I'm doing right now. Heat coach Erik Spoelstra said, spoke after that game about using Butler as a point guard to make sure he has the ball in his hands more often. But Butler made it sound like they were strangers, dismissing Spoelstra's solution of playing point guard. Quote, that ain't going to fix it. It's unbelievable.
I mean, so basically, he's using an excuse or a reason to be upset that doesn't exist. And in efforts to try to make him feel better, he concludes that ain't going to help. So you just want to feel the way you want to feel.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why this whole situation becomes frustrating, because it all gets back to the simple fact the Heat didn't extend him. And so now he's acting out.
Anthony writes, Butler set to meet with team officials, including a potential meeting with Heat owner Micky Arison on Thursday. This all means Butler could find himself working in a Heat offense that he has grown frustrated with after the system was tweaked for a team to take fewer long mid-range shots and more three-pointers to produce a more efficient shot chart. The change is working. The Heat had posted the NBA's 21st ranked location effective field goal percentage. Making up stats. I don't know what that
And is that
this
even
season
good?
after
Is that
finishing
out of 30? How's that good?
they finished last season last.
Okay.
So it has been better.
Okay.
It's better than last.
Still in the bottom half, though.
They are in the bottom half.
So here's what's happening.
But also in
The league, not just Jimmy,
Mhm.
have come to this conclusion in the last few years that a mid-range jumper is not worth the same value as a three-point shot or a shot near the rim. That's it. Now, here's what I would say to Jimmy. I get that's your game. You're mid-range jumper and stuff like that. DeMar DeRozan's not having a problem. You guys have very similar games. So what do we do about that? He's just really good at those mid-range jumpers. He shoots a mid-range jumper, you just know it's going in.
Well, the weird thing about it this year, which is actually funny about it, I haven't looked at the stats, but I'm pretty sure Jimmy Butler's most threes that he took was last year in his Heat career, and his numbers at the rim last year, which were a bit of an indicator of is there being a fall off. Like his numbers at the rim last year were awful, like compared to his previous seasons. He did not have a very efficient season around the rim, and he shot maybe after back-to-back long playoff runs, he was a little worn out. I don't know. But he didn't have a good season at the rim last year, on top of the fact that he shot more threes than he ever did. This year, he's throwing the three like in the garbage. Like, and that's why it made the one-legged three so hilarious. It's like you haven't been shooting threes, but now you're Dwork.
Yeah. So like
again,
all the things that Jimmy feels could be 100% true. Okay. But how he's going about it doesn't give him much of an argument, because his solution to fixing all that doesn't mean you don't play. That's not gonna win.
And especially pout and play, like
right.
This is what Anthony also writes. Says, after inquiring about Butler's apparent diminished role in the Heat's offense, Butler's camp says it was told by the Heat that some changes were made because of his inconsistent regular season availability, and it made it challenging to build the offense around him. Butler missed 22 regular season games last season and 18 in 22-23. Some with the Heat would say that Butler has made his role in the offense look smaller than it actually is by making it a point in some games to run to the corner and play without the ball in his hands. The fact is that Butler turned in one of his best regular season performances of his career just last month, 35 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, and a triple-double in the Heat's December 16th loss to the Detroit Pistons, which is, again, to me is like the line of demarcation in all of this, which I have found super strange. And I'm still looking because that was the game before the OKC game where he turned his ankle. So all of a sudden the role was then in it, that now the role's an issue. I went away I just had one of my best regular season games ever, but now the role's an issue. And by the way, when they're changing the role and building things, like, first of all, they were trying to figure out out of camp to try and play with Terry Rozier and Tyler Herro, which everybody already said, it's kind of a weird fit. I don't know if that's going to work out, which they ended up going away from because Terry Rozier has been horrendous this year. I just think that, if that was the case, like they would have figured out a way to work with Jimmy and when Jimmy's there, it's not going to be an issue to get Jimmy the ball. That's the thing.
He made it sound like they were purposely not getting him the ball and wanted him stand on the corner, like they would rather play 4-on-5.
Dude, we've all watched every Jimmy Butler game for the last 6 seasons, right?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen games where Jimmy Butler's been just kind of prowling, doesn't have anything going, and then bang, third quarter, there he is, Jimmy takeover time.
Right.
We've seen it time and time again. The idea that this guy is I just, again, we all know what the center issue is. Now we have the airing of grievances. None of this is helpful to anybody. It's not that anybody doesn't have points, but we know what it is. This isn't getting solved. Let's figure this out in the next 48 hours, please.
So with what previously with Dwayne Wade leaving immediately after that meeting
with Mickey,
yes,
mm-hmm.
Odds of Jimmy Butler finishing this season as a member of the Miami Heat, in your opinion,
as a member of the Miami Heat,
yeah, not
on the roster,
not active on the court, maybe sent home for the rest of the season even. But, there's a lack of trade packages available. It's in Jimmy's best interest to opt in. But it goes against what we last know from a Micky Arison meeting. In your opinion, odds of Jimmy Butler finishing this season on the roster?
Odds or percentage?
Percentage, because I don't know odds. Clearly from my gambling.
0%. 0%, dude. 0.
No way.
0.0.
No, that's
0.
Hey.
But no one wants him.
Over Here,
wants him.
who will play more minutes for the Miami Heat this year? Jimmy Butler or Vladikin Skywalker?
Okay, I think he's going to be a member of the Heat, just not active.
If I'm getting to the point, Marcos. Honestly, this is where I'm at right now. I am going to be genuinely stunned if Mike Biamonte says his name on Friday night.
Jimmy.
I'm going to be stunned. Wow. I'm just.
Or are they going to do this? Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, loafing it. Jimmy Butler,
1'3".
Jimmy Butler, no joy.
Who's gonna stuff his locker with almond joy bars?
Who's getting his locker?
Ooh,
he's got two lockers.
Two lockers.
He's got two lockers. Think Tyler's gonna move over there? Get that corner? That's the D Wade locker.
Give it to Drew Smith the way you guys were treating him earlier on. This
okay. Do you think you're so funny?
Kick his feet up.
Let me tell you something right now.
Yeah.
Be honest with me.
All right.
I'll take away all your sins.
Oh, will you?
All right.
Okay.
If Drew Smith was healthy right now,
yeah,
would you take him over Terry Rozier?
Would I? Scary Terry indeed. But in a fight, though, Terry Rozier.
Oh, Terry Rozier for sure.
Come on, he's earned my respect for that. You know,
his respect is waning.
Oh, he is. It is unfortunately.
I'm trying to. I told Frogboy, I'm trying to think of like late night drinking games for watching Terry Rozier play basketball. I'm trying to think of taking a shot every time he jumps into a contested jumper, Leroy. Take a break. Rats off a ship is next.
Rats off a ship.
Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy show. We are playing Rats off a ship. Tobin wanted to wait till there was 10 seconds left before he went to the restroom. Unacceptable, dude. Clock management.
Sorry.
No problem, dog.
Leroy's muted.
Not me.
Who did that?
Not me.
That was me. I was waiting for Tobin. Sorry.
Oh, Figgy!
Oh, no. Wearing green. What's the special occasion?
What do you mean, Leroy? What?
Every day it's like, oh, look
He
at that.
always says something.
Not wearing black.
Trying to win the cropper back, you know?
Not trying to do that. Stop that.
That's what I do. Why are we shocked that Leroy comments on stuff?
Every single day. I have to like be ready for some sort of comment.
By the way, you should be worried if I don't say anything.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. What?
Why?
Because you say what's wrong.
Interesting. Jennifer, what do we have today for Rats Off a Sheet?
Okay. Well, first we have Mike Tomlin leaving the Steelers.
Wow.
Told reporters teams looking to trade for him. Save your time.
Wow. All right. 10 toes down.
Okay.
I'm rats off a ship on Mike Tomlin leaving the Steelers. I think it'll be kicked around. This seems like one of those, fancy things they're trying to throw out there. The Steelers don't change coaches, and I don't feel like he's leaving. I don't, maybe get him a decent quarterback and see what's what. Stop giving him washed guys or guys with baby hands. Give it a whirl, Steelers. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right off the ship too. He not leaving.
Rats off a ship.
What kind of raggedy fan base would you get rid of a guy who's never had a losing record and think you're going to find better in what's out there right now with the players you have? I might add.
Right, like who is the guy the Steelers fan? Who do you want? Ben Johnson.
And then you're going to say, and then you're going to spend 2 years saying, well, we don't have the quarterback yet.
Let me tell you something about hiring offensive gurus. Doesn't mean they command a team.
Yeah.
Okay? Doesn't mean that, dude. All respect to Ben Johnson. That's Man Campbell's ship. Yeah.
Tough.
JFig, what about you? Where are your rats?
Save your time and take a swim. Rats off a ship.
Wow.
Rats off a ship.
Frog Boy?
Full sweep of rats. He's staying.
Rats off a ship.
What's number 2, Jennifer?
Well, we have Cam Ward being picked number 1 in the NFL draft. He is currently the betting favorite.
All
right.
Minus 125 to be selected number 1. Shedeur Sanders is plus 100. Travis Hunter plus 1,000. Those are your top 3 in odds.
Sorry, who has the first pick again?
Titans. Currently, the Tennessee Titans have it, and they the rumors are they love Cam Ward.
How can you not?
They love Cam Ward. Yeah. However, as much as I love Cam, I'm rats off a ship on him being the number 1 overall pick.
Oh,
Why?
And it has nothing to do with Cam Ward.
Why? Okay, let's hear it.
Something's happening in Dallas.
Oh,
something is happening in Dallas.
Oh,
And it just feels like to me, Coach Prime is taking that job.
Yeah.
They're trading up to number 1 overall. They're taking Shedeur. Could you imagine if they took Cam Ward? I mean, he traded number 1 overall and didn't take his son. Taking Shedeur Sanders number 1 overall, which will make Cam Ward a Cleveland Brown. Wow. Thus, bringing back the cycle of Cam Ward and Bernie Kosar.
Yes.
And we're going to see Leroy Horde, Bernie Kosar, and Cam Ward at a steakhouse in Cleveland one time next year.
Yeah.
For the selfie too, right?
Of course. And Taylor Swift's guitarist.
Yes.
Just a cherry on top.
Hey, Bernie's big into the selfies.
Oh, he loves a selfie.
Oh, yeah. Me,
Loves
I'm whatever.
You're barely into pictures.
I know.
That's true.
I know.
Let alone one you have to take yourself.
This is like, hey, let's get in on this. I'm like, get in on what, Bert?
We have to schedule to take pictures. It's sad.
So I'm rats off a ship on Cam Ward. Leroy?
I'm not rats off a ship. He's the best. He's the best available option. The only other thing I think, if you're a team that has a bunch of holes to fill, that you could do is you could get a haul for the first pick in the draft. So Chicago did that and still, Chicago did that and still blew it. So
You think Will Levis still thinks he's the guy?
Nope, but he's got that Mayo cologne.
Ugh, disgusting.
hey, all I know is
I wonder how
is
much
that-
he's actually sold.
All I know is that you very rarely see a coach yell at a quarterback the way that coach yells at him.
Hates his ass.
We just went over this.
Jennifer, where are your rats?
I'm not rats off a ship, Cam Ward. But I don't like what you said.
Why?
I just don't like what you said. Makes me think things.
Makes him a brown.
Makes him a brown.
That's gross.
Froggy?
I am not rats off a ship. He's gonna be a Titan, dude.
Okay.
He is going to be a Titan. The Titans aren't gonna fumble the bag.
I know one thing. If he's a Titan, he's going to beat the Dolphins because the Titans always beat the Dolphins.
It's true.
What's number 3, Jennifer?
Well, Pizza Hut in China is
Ooh,
offering a pizza with an
Okay.
entire fried frog on it.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Marcos, don't
What's wrong?
ever go
Look
to
away.
China.
Look away.
Look away. You're going to be hurt by this, okay?
What exactly
Close
do
your
you mean?
eyes.
Fried frog, exactly.
Oh, Marcos, put some shorts on.
And what's that in the corner? Is that supposed to be like eyeballs or something?
I don't know. I know, but the frog on the right looks swole.
Why is China doing that?
I don't know, but I'm very uncomfortable by this photo.
I
And I
wouldn't even
agree,
like
you
that if
should
that
put
was-
some pants on.
Is that stuffed crust?
Looking thick.
Your response to a frog laying face first on the top of a pizza, fried, is
Cheeks out.
cheeks out is that stuffed crust.
He would eat that. He would eat that.
So
That
I
is-
have a
Except you wouldn't eat the cilantro on the side because
I have a
you
better
guys,
question.
You wouldn't do that.
You went through all that trouble to deep fry a frog, and you just throw the lettuce on top?
Yeah, can I get a arugula with my frog, please?
Well, that looks like cilantro.
Whatever.
What that is, dude.
And I feel like it might be to take away, that
Does this
froggy
offend you,
taste.
Froggy?
Yeah, I'm writing a letter. I don't know. But they're gonna get a strongly worded letter.
I'm frogs off a ship on that one.
And the other thing is, most of the time, people just eat the legs.
Yeah,
They got
the
a whole
whole
frog
body.
on there.
And okay, I like chicken.
For
For example.
presentation.
I would have just put a whole chicken on top of it, like just fry it. Just
Frog
fry
does
it.
not taste like chicken, though.
I mean, I wouldn't know. And
As much
I
as
hope
people
you don't-
say, it does not taste like chicken.
It doesn't taste like chicken.
It tastes like seafood, I imagine.
I've never had frog.
Yes.
Good,
What do you
thank
think-
you.
What do you think something tastes like that's been hanging out in water its whole life?
Not even like water, a swamp.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna be tasting that water.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's gross. Put it on
Uh,
the dartboard, dude.
what? We're not in China.
Who's
we
gonna
can't-
ship it?
Well, I don't know. After my strongly worded letter, it may be banned from all Pizza Huts.
Or you can recreate it yourself and
There's-
then put it on the
there's-
dartboard too.
There's definitely going to be a TikToker or whatever the hell is going to exist in 4 days. There's going to be somebody who's going to do this as a challenge.
Well, they're
Like,
probably
that
only going to do
actually
with frog
happening?
legs. You can get frog legs.
Yeah.
Is what actually happened in JFig.
This whole TikTok ban thing. I'm not on it.
I think it only. The last I heard was that it has till the 19th. Although apparently Elon Musk is interested in buying TikTok.
Haven't you ruined enough social media, sir?
You really did ruin Twitter.
Wonderful.
I mean, I can't find. You know what's annoying about Twitter? You can't find anything anymore. One of the best things about Twitter, one of the best search engines you've ever had, and like ever since it became X, like you can't find anything on Twitter. It's ridiculous.
My feed used to be perfect, and now I don't even like going on the app.
Give us one more, Jennifer.
Well, we got Bad Bunny, another
Oh.
animal, that is changing the game.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All
And
right.
guess
Body
what?
some
He
recognition
doesn't
around there.
care. He doesn't care if no one understands his album, by the way.
Doesn't care.
So like he's not trying to conform to doing any English songs.
Yeah, he's not catering to you intangibles.
Wait a minute.
You barely understand Spanish,
Hey, you
Marco.
can't understand it either, Marcos.
Look, you guys are from the wrong island, all right? So I can understand where you'd be jealous of me because of my exclusive access to his tour. But it's no problem, guys.
You have exclusive access to his tour?
Sure, I may have to talk to a grandma I don't really talk to that much and potentially put her address down. But I'm getting tickets, baby. And I like him, am sick of you.
Why?
All of you.
Did he just win a Grammy?
Yeah, and he deserves another. Give him an Oscar and the WWE Championship while
This
you're at
feels
it.
like the whole Drake thing all over again
Oh,
for you.
no. But you know what? Bad
I've never
Bunny-
heard you speak about Bad Bunny like this.
Well, Bad Bunny actually makes music, so
That's the thing. You know, I was practicing with the whole Drake thing. I knew Bad Bunny would be coming back around.
Well,
First
of all, your boy is backtracking.
Yeah, not a good move. Not a good move on his part.
RVA Richie says, amazing album. Bad Bunny is a genius.
Amazing album. And you know what, Jennifer? I'll tell you
Jennifer, what have I said?
How many of these Taylor Swift concerts you been to?
2.
Oh, I've been to 3 Bad Bunny concerts.
Whoa.
One of them
You know what?
resulted in my
Those are
son.
easier to get to, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Baby
well,
Tadpole came after a Bad Bunny concert?
Yeah, I
That
know.
is true.
Is it easier to get a Bad Bunny ticket or a Taylor Swift ticket?
Bad Bunny.
Well, now it's going to be kind of hard because he's doing something where he's doing a residency, but he's doing it in Puerto Rico. So if you want to see him for the first 2 months, you got to go to Puerto Rico, and you can't even buy a ticket unless you're a Puerto Rican resident.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess he is changing the game.
Changing the game. No mas.
I guess I have no choice other than to say I'm not rat selfish on him changing the
Yeah,
game.
you better not be,
Whoa,
dude.
right.
Marcos will come after you.
Not rat selfish on him
Right,
changing the game.
do you?
right.
Do you? He's got it like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Bunny,
There's a lot of people who think they can change the game and nobody
How much
cares.
is he selling these tickets for, actually?
For the resident, this is an amazing thing. Obviously, for the residents, because he's really trying to look out for his people. The most expensive ticket you can buy, I'm talking front row VIP, $250.
Remember when Bad Bunny did the Triple H at a Heat game?
Yeah.
Where he put the water in his mouth and sprayed it all over everybody?
Love wrestling.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
does.
Wasn't that around COVID time?
Sure was.
Okay.
Sure was. Not
Okay.
not very cleanly of Bad Bunny.
Nope.
But remember, he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care anymore.
Doesn't care.
Yeah. My buddy. Yeah.
Wait, so do you think that once the Puerto Rican residents buy
Yeah,
tickets,
he's gonna hit other.
he's going to open it up to other people? Because he's
Yes,
just
yes,
trying to
he
make
will.
sure his people get tickets first.
Yeah,
What
at
is
the very least, a whole summer in Puerto Rico?
what is Bad Bunny's like number one hit off of this thing now? If old intangibles over here can ask.
Oh, that's a good question. I know you have the
Maybe
number
we
one
need
song
to,
in
you
America.
know, in the post Jimmy Butler era, we need a new song to replace Pepas, you know?
See, but some of these, all right, he has like a couple salsa merengue influences that are upbeat, but some of these are kind of sad with good beats. Some of these
Sad
are like,
Bunny.
I should have taken more pictures, or you know, I should have been in the moment more. But then the beat's like, shake that ass.
You gotta listen, you gotta pay the bills.
Oh,
You gotta give the people what they want.
I'm gonna come back with some Bad Bunny. You've inspired me.
This.
Broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall studio.
Solo tienes que vivir. Un verano en Nueva York.
Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny,
welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock. The Tiguan, the Tahoe, and the Atlas. Remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Miami Heat is back on the hardwood tonight against the LA Lakers. Last time they played the Lakers, whooped their ass. I mean, they took it to them. You remember, that was when JJ Redick, very unprofessional, because he's not a real coach. He's a podcaster. But he showed up to his pregame press conference like almost a half hour late. Maybe it was 10 minutes, but almost a half hour late because of Basel.
Yeah, the last guy that was late to something left the team. We know JJ. We know what that means. Not taking it seriously, dude. Not taking it seriously.
They quit against the Heat that game. That was a crazy performance from them. I mean, you want to talk about tap machine. I was like, whoa. They were just like looking around. Whatever. You excited to see Gabe Vincent tonight, JFig?
Who?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Frosty, dude. All right. I guess not. You know what you did, Gabe.
You know what you did.
We're on to bigger and better things now. I don't know who, but
okay. Yeah.
We're past Gabe Vincent. And Strus. We're done with both of you. Although great hair.
He does have great hair.
They all do.
He does have great hair. Jimmy Butler in that game, because his role was reduced. He had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 8 of 12 from the floor. Reduced role in a game they won by 40. What?
Malarkey, dude. Absolute malarkey that he tried.
Reduced role.
Yeah, of course.
It's a reduced role. Took the second most shots on the team
How
that
can
day.
it be a reduced role when you're the guy? Like, that's like if Tua was like, hey, they're just not using me right. It's like the ball is in your hand every play. What are you talking about?
No, it's a reduced role. That's what he
Reduced
says.
Reduced role.
Mm-hmm.
Sick of this, dude.
Let's get to cat talk, huh?
Ooh.
Cat talk is brought to you by our friends over at Hollywood Kia. The big game is here. Tackle game-winning deals during the handoff drive-off event at Hollywood Kia. Get $1,000 lease bonus cash towards your new Kia. We'll double your down payment up to $3,000 online at hollywoodkia.com. Call them up 832-930-6181. The Florida Panthers defeated the New Jersey Devils yesterday in a shootout. Here was Anton Lundell in the shootout, getting the win. Baby Barkey.
Sorry, I don't have it.
What?
I apologize.
What do you mean you don't have it?
I was like, oh, he must be playing a video, man.
I just asked you to play his goal.
That's so true. I apologize. I was so focused on Bad Bunny. That's my fault.
Isn't it in the system?
It should
That's
be.
your fault.
Yeah. Do it again.
You just want me to pretend what just happened?
Yeah,
didn't happen?
No, for sure. No, it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The Panthers defeat the New Jersey Devils last night, 2-1 in a shootout.
Whoa!
Anton Lundell had the game winner in the shootout. Here was Baby Barkey.
Lundell takes it from center ice. It's off to his right. Top of the circle, front of the net. Shot, he scores! Anton Lundell ends it. The Panthers take it tonight. 2-1 in the shootout here in New Jersey. Anton Lundell, what a move there. And he beats Markstrom to end the game. And the Panthers get the big 2 points here tonight. A big win for the Panthers to end the trip.
That hockey organ was terrifying.
What's that? They ended with a solo. They're like, all right, we lost the game, guys. Organ solo. That was very, very interesting.
That was crazy. Hockey's like has the craziest just difference of celebration between a goal and an opponent's goal. Like they almost act like the opponent's goal did not happen.
Because it didn't.
But when it's a home goal,
Yeah.
goal horns, fireworks.
The game's going on. We're still celebrating.
Game's going on. They come back 5
Seriously.
minutes later to tell you who scored.
Yeah.
It's all the show. We love it.
That's funny. We're getting the information late, but we'll get that party started. We'll start the party. You tell us who made the goal, baby. We just don't win in.
That's the weirdest thing in hockey. Like they'll play 2 more minutes of hockey, and then that's goal assisted by. I'm like,
All right.
We're on commercial. What are you doing? What's going on?
Attention, Panthers fans.
do they change
14
lines every time they score?
Huh?
Because I always see the guy go and get dapped, but he always seems to leave the game.
Yes,
The
I
guy
think
who scored.
they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. And that's like I'm assuming a custom, like every time you see someone get a sack or something like that, or like a long run, they're usually like great run, sideline. I guess it's the same thing. Like
No,
you
I
show
don't
every time-
know. It's a weird dynamic. Like no matter how long they've been on the ice, they go dap up and then they go in.
Oh. All right.
I try to score quickly.
100 questions.
Hey, no. Don't even try because you tried to. You
Oh,
tried to.
did it ask
No.
David Dwork.
Yeah.
100 questions about hockey all the time. This was
One
Tkachuk.
claims
That
to
one
be-
was pretty reasonable, though.
This was Tkachuk last night. You could see
Oh my god.
It is such a perfect photo.
that is all the New Jersey Devils trying to choke out Matthew Tkachuk.
Shouldn't he have his mouthpiece
like
in?
one
Why is he
pepper.
chewing on that thing?
That's
He
his
need that
thing. He
for
doesn't-
protection.
He doesn't have a protection. He just chews it. And he doesn't lose it either.
They
Oh
hate
my
this.
goodness.
Jesus.
What did he do?
That's so great. I'm glad he's on my team.
I am too.
So
Oh, I would hate him if he wasn't on my team.
this guy, he got what he deserved.
How furious do you think all of Canada was watching him bring the Stanley Cup into the Atlantic Ocean last year?
He doesn't respect it.
Sure, they were very
He's
offended.
not respecting the cup.
Salt water on Stanley.
McDavid deserved it.
So great. So
Just so hungover, bringing the Lord Stanley out of the elbow room.
that was a party, dude. That was like a week-long party. People eating pasta.
A
out
week?
of
I
it.
feel like it was much more than a week.
True.
It was a hell of a summer, but they need to make this. I need this. Hey, Panthers land. I need this a t-shirt. Please.
Yeah. Put this on the elevator.
Let's go.
Do they do
And a
that?
t-shirt.
No, that's the Dolphins.
Oh, okay. That was cool. That's a cool pick. Okay, come on. It's just, you know,
That one was a reasonable question.
just asking a question, you know? I'm sorry, Leroy. He's lashing out. You should hear what he says on break.
Now, if I ask him a fight game question,
Oh, he'll know.
oh, he break that thing down like oh,
I can't wait for this weekend, dude. I cannot wait.
Back.
UFC is back this week. Actually, a hell of a card last week, but it was, not star-studded.
Ah.
Star-studded card. We got the Nurmagomedovs in.
Ooh.
Baby Nurmagomedov is trying to win the title from Marab.
Wow.
You got Jamal Hill taking on Yuri Prohashka. Long matchup in the making. Then you got Islam
Now he wants to
Makhachev,
fight.
Arman Sarukian.
It is going to get to the point where it is difficult to pronounce every single person.
nope, he knows them all in there. Dude, it's crazy.
Oh, was the only one I was like, oh, okay.
Jamal Hill.
Oh,
He even
Jesus.
spells his name weird, though. I'm like, I don't see a Jamal spell much with an H.
Yeah, that's true. It is weird. But even then, I'm like, all right, wait. Are one of these guys the blind guy?
Huh?
The blind in one eye, orange hair.
Oh no, Shara Bullet. I don't think he's allowed to fight in America. That's the word. He's gonna, and they have a Saudi Arabia card coming up in I think February 1st. He'll definitely be on that card. I don't even have to look. I know he's on that card.
Makes sense. Dang, UFC's back, baby.
Baby, chili peppers.
Oh, I do like me some chili peppers.
No, but you always do chili peppers with your friends, the guys you talk to. So I
that's
think
not-
he's got a chance. A live dog here, and then dude gets pounded.
And they get it
that's
the
not
next
fair.
day.
That's not fair.
Not fair.
It's not fair. That's not true.
We come to you for your fight game expertise, and you get mad because I ask you a damn hockey question.
Change the lines and how much time are they on the ice? What's the average TOI?
Whoa.
What is TOI?
Time on ice.
Oh, see? So if I want to know what TOI is, I'm going to ask you.
Back after this.
WQAM broadcasting
All right. Tobin and Leroy back with you here. 560 WQAM. Miami Heat. Let's get to 15 minutes of Heat here. Brought to you by Hollywood Kia. The big game is here. Tackle game-winning deals during the handoff drive-off event at Hollywood Kia. Get $1,000 lease bonus cash towards your new Kia. Plus, we'll double your down payment up to $3,000. Visit them online, hollywoodkia.com. And you can call them at 832-930-6181. The Miami Heat on the hardwood tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. That is a 10 o'clock tip-off from Crypto.com Arena, where, of course, Pat Riley was at the last. So, Pat, you think he's chilling there? He's probably just waiting for them. Okay.
I think he waiting for business to pick up back home.
I think he went to the West Coast to go check on his house, and then he also was at Michael Cooper's jersey retirement, which he spoke at.
Okay.
So Jaime got his jersey retired, his high school jersey retired. That was kind of cool. His number 24.
I did see that. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That
once you make the NBA, like high school's got to retire. Did your jersey retire, Leroy? Should be. Should be you and playoff Lenny.
That is
playoff Lenny.
I should probably check the hallways of Miami Gardens Optimist to see.
Oh, you
if
think so?
they potentially, you never know.
I'm not. You know what I've always held a grudge against?
Yeah.
Barry University doesn't have me in the broadcast wing.
That's messed
And
up.
I feel like I should be in the broadcast wing.
That's messed up.
That's messed up, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be in the broadcast wing. I am a distinguished alum of Barry
Is there
University.
anybody else on the
I
wing?
threw out a first pitch.
Come on.
Why am I not in the broadcast wing?
May have to do with your getting kicked off campus. May have to do with.
Isn't that one of those things though? Like, what does that have to do with my aunt? It's almost like Pete Rose gambling. What does that have to do with anything? You know, it was off the field.
You should probably write a very strongly worded letter.
Well, and that's where it ends.
Send it in.
Not
Really
writing no
shame.
letter.
Kind of like the Ted Ginn of like radio broadcasting.
Bust.
You know, no, not a bust. You know, underwhelming start of your career, but look at you, 12 years later.
Yeah, but Ted Ginn was the number 9 overall pick. Like I had to, I was cutting Panthers headlights of Richard Zednick getting his neck sliced open. I came from the bottom.
Wow, rough, dark memory.
Oh, what? Dark memory? What a night I'll never forget. They're like, all right, you're on your first Panthers game tonight. I'm like, okay, cool. Should be an
uneventful.
Like it's usually like 4 goals. It's not much to cut up. And then Richard Zednick skate across the throat. I was like, whoa. Then one game I took my kids to a Panthers game, and Richard Zednick happened to be sitting in front of me, and I just kept looking at him like,
his neck.
The neck is all right.
His head still on his shoulders.
The neck is all right, dude. All right.
You see any scarring? Like,
that's what I was looking for. But I didn't want him to think I was staring because we literally were a row apart.
Show us your neck.
Jeez.
Gross, dude. Gross.
That was crazy. I remember. I'll never forget Randy Moeller and Bill Lindsay. They were
they were screaming.
Yeah,
I guess
dude, it was like a movie.
Maybe
what
I
happened to
blacked
his
out.
neck? Don't look it up on YouTube.
No, I can't. No,
It
my
was
shirt
brutal.
is already crazy enough. I don't want to add that to it. I don't do well with those things though. I don't know if I would have screamed or potentially blacked out. Leroy, you ever saw an on the field injury that just made you sick to your stomach?
Yes. We were playing Pittsburgh, and the guys, he got hit in his helmet. His helmet split his head right here.
Oh,
and it wasn't. He didn't have any, damage to his head, but it was so much blood that everybody just freaked out.
Jeez.
Jesus. What was his name? I can Google that, right?
I don't remember his name. And I remember in practice one time, a tight end slid because it was wet and put his arm down, and his elbow went.
Oh, I can't deal with like broken bones or like this fracture. I can't even see.
I
Like,
can't deal with the big ones. Like when you see a leg snap or
Oh,
an
yeah.
arm.
Get that foot.
Right. I remember who's the guy that was pitching. He was pitching one time and his forearm
I forget it.
yeah. And then he had the surgery and he came back and it snapped again.
I mean, the worst one I've ever seen in person was Chris Weidman. That was brutal. I saw Weidman's leg snap cage side.
No.
Yeah.
Or I remember when I was a kid,
was bad too.
I think it was the Houston Astros had a guy, Dickie Thon. Remember him, baseball player?
No.
He got hit in the head and was donezo.
What was his name?
Dickie Thon.
Thon.
That's a good baseball name.
That is.
That sounds like a middle reliever, Dickie Thon. What did he play, Marcos? He was a pitcher, you said? He was a pitcher, Leroy?
No, he got hit by a pitch.
Oh, he got hit in the face like Giancarlo Stanton did.
Yeah.
Craig Counsell had a nasty one too. They hit Craig Counsell. They had to wire his jaw shut.
But that one's not that like. I mean, it looks bad. Obviously, you get hit in the face, but to me, I'm like, unless I see him spitting out teeth, I won't be like crazy. To see like Paul George's injury or remember Kevin Ware, like.
Oh yeah, that was a brutal one.
Come on, like bones sticking out of me. I can't do that. One of the many reasons I couldn't be a doctor.
Remember when Kimbo fought the guy with the cauliflower ear and he blew up the guy's ear? That was crazy.
He also had a street fight where like a guy's.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That was great.
I'm feeling all kinds of feelings.
Those
right
were the
now.
days on YouTube, baby.
Yo, what?
Those were the days.
I was just thinking, wow.
Dickie Thon is Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I saw that actually. He's going to the bat running concert.
Got hit in the face.
Me and Dickie hanging out.
He sounds so he was like a utility infielder.
Shortstop, second baseman, third baseman.
Perfect. You miss the utility infielder these days,
15-year career.
Alfredo Amezaga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he was really good. He got hit in the face. He was just a journeyman after that.
Remember the
Marlins had a guy. Remember the Marlins had a guy that got hit in the head and then he came back?
Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton.
No. It was a
new helmet.
Maybe it was either Yankees or the Marlins. They signed a guy. Remember he was out for a long time and then he came back. They did like an ESPN thing on him.
Oh, you're talking about the Adam Greenberg thing? The guy the guy they gave one at bat to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he was supposed to make his major league debut. He never got an official at bat. And so the Marlins gave him one at bat. Another great Samson product to put out on the field. Let's do baseball make-a-wish.
Wow. Jeez, Tobin.
What, dude?
Holy
baseball team. Like, that's a great gimmick. Let's do that.
I mean, it can't be no worse than when they brought out Muhammad Ali.
Dude, what? I know. And ladies and gentlemen, the greatest, Muhammad Ali. And Jeffrey Lurie's holding on to him for dear life.
Oh, God. Jesus. What about Dan Jennings? Did you see him get hit in the head? Is that something that you remember witnessing?
Dan Jennings, the former manager?
Apparently he was a Marlins pitcher at a certain point. Or was he? Yeah, Marlins pitcher. Dan Jennings.
That's right. His son did pitch. Yeah, that's right. I do remember
I'm trying to think when I was in New Orleans, a guy who played for the University of New Orleans, Whitehurst, he was a pitcher and he got hit in the face with a line drive, and that was pretty gruesome.
Well, you got Heat basketball coming up tonight. We had Panthers last night. They're back on the ice tomorrow. We're going to break down some cats with our guy, David Dwork from the Hockey News. He joins us next.
The Heat are still in Los Angeles.
our guy from the Hockey News, co-host of the Hockey Show, David Dwork. Hello, buddy. How are you? I don't hear him. He's muted, JFig.
He's pulling the Leroy.
Oh, well, he's unmuting himself.
That's on me.
There we go.
That's on me. That's on me.
All right.
My bad.
Hey, accountability is the best policy, my friend.
I just hopped over the boards and fell flat on my face. So that's a rough start to the shift.
Yeah.
David.
No hockey talk there.
All right. Just want to say that.
Sir?
Miss you, David. Love you, buddy.
Good to have you back, buddy.
Oh, man.
Good win by the Cats last night. You know, they get the shootout win over the Devils, kind of after about as ornery as we've heard Paul Maurice in a regular season. He seemed not too pleased with how things have been lately. What have you made of this Cats team so far right now and what they're going through?
I think it's just kind of part of the role of a season. Like, I mean, they're about halfway through right now. For the last several weeks, they've had a lot of guys that have been sick. They've had a few guys that are playing through injuries, which is nothing out of the ordinary, you know, particularly for this time of the season when it's winter and they're traveling a lot. So to see them kind of meandering their way through the schedule right now, it's not, you know, horribly surprising. You'd like to see them playing a little bit better, but again, it's the middle of the season. They're second place in the division. They're right where they need to be in terms of the standings. And again, if you look, they're one of the best road teams in the NHL. So I don't think they're terribly worried about, you know, where they are in the standings. I think things are going to work out as the season progresses. But yeah, right now, I think Paul Maurice is more concerned with the effort level that he sees than he is any kind of, concerned about long-term issues with the team. I think just night in and night out. And again, when you're dealing with so many of these issues, it's, human nature. But I think that's where Maurice is at right now. He's just kind of dealing with the day-to-day just because I would think he knows long-term things will be okay.
Dave, this happens every year though, right? We have this conversation with you about this time every year. They go on the stretch and sometimes Paul Maurice will say, look, we're not playing bad. We're just losing games. This time he was a little more upset about the effort. But come January, right, that lull before the final stretch where you start jockeying for position, this has happened the last 3 years or as long as Paul Maurice has been here. And shouldn't we be like, okay, like we've seen this story before. Let's just, settle down a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I've been thinking for the last couple of weeks, just based off of the commentary that I've been seeing on like social media and the reaction from some fans. Like, guys, take it easy. Like, you've seen this the last couple of years, and all they've done the last couple of years is go to the Stanley Cup final and win the Stanley Cup. And it's a lot of the same cast of characters there. They've actually improved a lot of it in the forward group. So like, I would just take it easy right now. Like you just said, Leroy, it's the middle of January. The playoffs are like 4 months from now.
Right.
So let's just, let the team get together. There's still a lot of new guys on this squad. I think they have like 8 or 9 new players from last year. So it's going to take a little time to get everybody on the same page once again, to learn these systems. And that's what they're working towards right now. And I think that's kind of ties into where Paul Maurice can get his game-to-game frustrations, just kind of implementing what he's trying to do and get everybody in line ahead of the playoffs. But getting there, and once they get there, I mean, just based off what I've seen from the last couple of years with this team, I'm not terribly concerned.
Does this happen with all teams, or we're just honed in on the Panthers so we don't recognize that this happens throughout hockey for stretches of the season?
Yeah, I think, in any sport, baseball, basketball, any sport that takes, more than half a year to complete their season, and that's got so many games on a day-to-day basis, you're going to get some wear down. Now, basketball is a whole nother issue right now that we don't even get into because like they get a hangnail and they're out for 2 weeks. But I mean, with hockey, I just feel like when you combine the physicality, the cold weather, the travel, the time of the year, like it's fairly common to see, things pop up between, Thanksgiving and, I guess March. But, like you said, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. And I'd be a lot more concerned if we were talking about guys being sick and guys dealing with injuries when we're getting into April than right now in January, when I'd rather them be going through it and kind of getting themselves ready for that time of the year.
Is there have you been impressed by the yes man, Boquist? I feel like he's really hit his stride the last few weeks.
It's hard not to be. I mean, look at what he's doing on a line with Anton Lundell and Carter Verhaeghe. They've been probably the Panthers' best, more consistent line over the last maybe week or two. And Boquist has been the spark. I like that he does a little bit of everything. He's very feisty. He's not afraid to get into it. He maybe gets caught a little bit doing that, but I think on a line with a guy like Carter Verhaeghe, who's just much more tenacious in speed, and Anton Lundell, who's, he's got all the skill in the world, but he's maybe not going to be the guy that gets into those dirty areas in terms, not in terms of going into the boards, but in terms of getting physical after the whistle and things like that. He's not that guy. So I think the line really complements each other really well. And Boquist has been, like so many of the other guys, like Nosek has been quietly great on that fourth line, similarly to what Kevin Stenlund was last year. So just, all these little tweaks and things that Bill Zito does is done really well. But Boquist has been great, Tobes.
What do you make of how important do you think last night was for Spencer Knight? Like, you have a national TV game, everything that he's been through. I mean, obviously it's still Bob's team for, I guess, at least a couple more years, maybe this, I don't know, but Spencer has had a long journey back, and now, they have the trust in him. What have you made of his year so far?
I think it's been a fun progression to watch play out. Obviously he's had his, ups and downs, ebbs and flows, or whatever you want to say this year, but to see the way he's been rounding out lately on the ice has been awesome, because that's, obviously that's where you make your bread, and that's where you need to do it. But the way that he's spoken, off the ice throughout the season, whether it's been after a shutout or after a game where he kind of gets shelled, he's been very just kind of steady as she goes. I mean, just kind of what you'd want to see from both a guy that's been through what he's been through over the last 18 months and from a goaltender in general. Like, it's a tough position to play, and particularly a backup goalie, because you don't know how often you're going to be in there. You could get thrown in at a very random time. So to see him just so kind of not stoic really, but because he's a happy guy, like he smiles a lot, but just to see him appear to be so comfortable in his own skin, and to see the way that it's producing on the ice and the way that he's played the last few games, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it may be starting to all come together for Spencer Knight, as you would think with, a goaltender with, a high draft pick, first round pick, somebody who's viewed as somebody that can be very successful at this level. Maybe it's starting to come together for Spencer Knight. You don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse. It's a goalie. He's going to have his ups and downs, right? But to see where he's at right now in that progression, I think it's awesome. And I'm really pleased with it, both from a journalist perspective and from a goalie perspective. I'm really happy to see where Spencer Knight is at today.
Level of excitement you have for the Winter Classic coming to South Florida?
A scale has yet to be invented to measure my level of excitement. Just the idea of going to any outdoor game is awesome right there, right? You throw the Panthers into the mix and it's like, oh man, they're going to be the center of attention for a little while. And then it's in our backyard. It's in a ballpark that, however you feel about that land plot, that building, it's somewhere we all have some kind of connection to. And now we're going to be going to a bleeping outdoor hockey, hopefully outdoor hockey game. Hopefully they can get the roof open. But they probably have a plan for that, right? Because it's 2025 and they did an outdoor game in LA, for crying out loud. So I'm pumped. Like, just when I start to think about it, like, man, I'm going to be there, and, who knows what kind of events they're going to have surrounding it. It just seems like so much fun. I feel like the fans down here, the way that we've seen them show out for the playoffs the last couple of years, and the way that they showed out for the parade and the All-Star game, like, it's going to be a spectacle. I can't wait to see what the league does, what the city does. I think it's going to be super exciting. And I'm pumped. I cannot even, I'm shaking thinking about how excited I am right now. Yeah. The hair's sticking up on my arm, and this is awesome.
Do you how excited are you? Because I don't we were talking about this yesterday. Leroy did that thing where he asked me a hockey question. I don't know, so I'll kick it to you. What the hell is this Four Nations thing that's coming up in a couple weeks? Because I'm very intrigued about it. The Panthers have a lot of guys in this thing that's coming up.
They do. They have 8 players. They have Bill Zito is part of Team USA. They have their equipment guys part of Team USA. Their video guy, he's involved. They're all in it, and it's basically kind of replacing the All-Star game this year, because there's no All-Star game this year. This is instead. And it's US, Canada, Sweden, Finland playing a round robin. The first 4 games for each are going to be in Montreal. And then the final round robin games will be in Boston. And they'll have their semifinal and their final. And it's basically best on best, which if you talk to any hockey player, hockey fan, that's what we want. We want to see best on best. We want to see what the best that, whether it's at an All-Star game, which, I just stopped myself right there, because an All-Star game is an All-Star game. Nobody's trying. Like you put your country's flag on your sweater, you go out there, you're representing. That's a different ball game. So I think this is what we're really excited for, is just to see guys that, we see them in the NHL and those kind of matchups, but that's really it. The Olympics come along like, once every, forever. So this is going to be really cool.
Are all the Finns playing for Finland? Like, are all Panthers Finns we basically are little Finland. So are we sending all of them?
No. Barkov, Mikkola, Luosterainen, and Lundell, they're all going.
Excellent.
Wow. I mean, like, I've never experienced, like, I know when players switch teams, you play against your buddy or whatever, but all of my friends were on the offensive side of the ball, so I never played against them. But hockey and basketball, you actually play against each other. How weird is that? Like, that's got to be a weird thing, right? Having to
cool
check
thing.
your teammate, right?
Yeah, that's what's cool about hockey, though. Like, I can't speak for other sports or basketball or things like that, but I know with hockey, like, it's kind of like a well-known thing. Like, it happens on the ice, stays on the ice, and obviously there's lines that, like, once in a while somebody may cross something, but quite generally, you leave your personal relationships, all that, you leave it off the ice. You get out there, you're gonna talk smack, you're gonna hit a guy in the boards. It can feel personal. I mean, Leroy, football, it's hard not to be personal in those moments where you're trying to obliterate somebody. But that's what's really cool about hockey. And we talk about how hockey guys are just great guys, that they can go out there and really try to mangle each other and then go hug and have dinner right afterwards. Like, it's all good.
Trevor brings up a good point. Is Russia not on because of Putin? Like, what's the deal? Why no Russian in the 4-cup nation?
Yeah,
because then it would be 5-cup.
Well, I understand that. I mean, in all respect, I mean, I think I've heard of more good Russian hockey players than Swedish.
Let me tell you, David, if I had asked that question, old Dum Dum would have said the same thing to me. So that's not.
Yeah.
So that's why
that's a good answer, though. I think that's what we should roll with.
I got you. All right. I just
it's been the whole Russia thing has been kind of taboo for a little while. Like, the Olympics, they didn't have Russia. They had the athletes representing Russia or whatever they did. So it's been a little funky. The Stanley Cup has not been to Russia in several years. So for now, it's just kind of like the thing that, nobody really talks about too much, but it's kind of like,
Gotcha. Do you feel like this is does year 3 Matthew Tkachuk feel like he's fighting even more people? Because I feel like now every night this dude is legitimately in a brawl.
I think he has this role that he plays, and he really enjoys his job. And I maybe guys are looking a little bit more to agitate him. Maybe he's more noticeable.
I feel like this. I feel like I've watched. That's a good job, but I feel like I've seen like 7 games this year where legitimately there's a fight after the game. Like, it's just every single time, win or lose, there's like somebody fighting Matthew Tkachuk after the final whistle, just because like they're just sick of his ass. I don't know.
Well, here's my thought on the whole thing. Matthew Tkachuk, we all can agree, plays kind of an old school style of hockey that maybe would have been better suited in like the 80s and 90s, just because he's just as physical as he is an offensive player. My big problem with the NHL right now is that a clean hit is responded to with such ferocity that you think a guy just got 2-hand high sticked in the face. Like, there used to be a time where clean hits were just kind of like, okay, you just got lined up and knocked out and we're going to go on with our lives because that's hockey. But now every hit is responded to with like a melee. And it's like we saw last night when the Panthers were playing in New Jersey. So I think that kind of plays into it as well. Right now, maybe guys are getting a little soft or a little too sensitive or whatever, but that's an element of the game that it's kind of frustrating because those big hits are such a fun part of hockey. And, now we're almost villainizing them, if that's a word, on their own, like on our own as hockey.
Isn't it weird? Because when I see Tkachuk play, I think his skill set doesn't fit the physicality that he plays with, right? Because he's very skilled with the puck. And usually those guys are not as close to that kind of physicality as he is. And I think that's what throws a lot of people off. You think, oh, he's just a goon, but that's not the case at all.
No, he's like Bill Zito said the day that they signed him. I think it's like a perfect descriptor. He's a unicorn. Like, guys just don't do that. Like, he can play both sides. He can wear both hats. And I think like it makes me think of Sasha Barkov in that Barkov also, like Tkachuk, all the skill in the world, but it's up here. If Barkov had the kind of mentality of a guy like Alex Ovechkin to just like focus on scoring, and, that's it, Barkov could be scoring 50, 60 goals a year with his skill. No doubt in my mind. But that's not who he is. He's a guy that focuses just as much on his defensive play, just like Tkachuk focuses just as much on the physical element and getting to that part of hockey. And I think that's kind of why the Panthers have been such a well-rounded team, is they have so many guys that can do so many different things, but not necessarily their main focus or what their game's modeled around.
My favorite thing is always when somebody tries to fight Barkov and he goes, like, I'm not in the mood. I don't want to.
He almost smiles more in those situations than when he scores a goal.
Right, that's the direct opposite of Tkachuk.
Right,
Tkachuk is like, hold on, give me a second.
Dude, he had all of the Devils were on him last night. I'm like, what is happening?
All of them.
All of them. Like who's in the middle there? That's Chucky.
No, there's a picture that my buddy Roy Bellamy posted on Twitter where it's like all you see is like red jerseys, and then you just see Tkachuk's head sticking out of the pile.
He's smiling.
Yeah, it's just so perfect, smiling. Matthew Tkachuk, because he enjoys it. Right. I think he's got like a secret like pleasure for pissing off goalies. I've always got my eye in the goal crease. He does so good at getting under a goalie's skin without doing anything illegal. Like as a goaltender, like you don't want to be bothered too much out there, and he's so good at just the parts of the game that maybe not a lot of guys want to get into or whatever. But that's what makes him such a valuable guy on this team, is that he does everything that maybe guys don't even have players on the other team that do. And then he goes out there and he'll score 40 goals.
That's the weird part to me, because the two situations that we talked about, the 40 goals and him being an irritant, that usually doesn't come in one person.
No, very rare. It's like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, anybody in in this generation that's been that kind of player. And it's really hard to think of. Like, they were much more common, in the, back in the 80s and 90s, when guys were like, it was a more fun physical game back then. Now, it's much more, and, rightly so to an extent. You got to focus on safety, but it's fun to watch Matthew Tkachuk do his thing, man.
It's fun to watch you do your thing, buddy.
Go
follow David Dwork, the Hockey News, co-host of the Hockey Show with Roy Bellamy, with Meadowlark Media as well. Does a fantastic job. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, man. It's always nice to be here, be around awesome people. Good to see you guys.
Alrighty.
Take care, David.